All right. Episode 6 of the Untitled College Football Program. Name still pending. We might just keep it. We don't know yet. I got Jeffrey with me, Jacob, Matt, Travis. How we doing, everybody?
Pretty good.
Doing fine.
See,
Not as good as James Franklin, apparently.
Yeah.
Sitting on $50 million.
yeah, getting paid $50 million to go practice his golf swing.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie. But so obviously we have the Auburn guys here, not doing too great after the Georgia game. Jeffrey, I didn't get to watch, and I really don't know. What happened with Baylor?
Bye week.
Bye week.
When-
Okay, I
No,
wasn't
it's
sure.
bye week.
TCU coming this week.
But yeah, we got the rivalry this weekend, so
Yeah, big game. Jacob, what about Purdue? Were they on a bye or what was it?
It was Purdue choked. That's all I
Trust
can
me,
say.
I know Purdue played and lost because
Yeah,
I'm in the group chat mad, and Jacob, in typical Jacob fashion, has to do his Family Guy. You think that's bad? Look what Purdue did.
I was like legitimately pissed. I got banned from the Purdue forums on Saturday night.
You got banned.
Yeah, I got banned.
What'd you say? You
I
freaking
didn't-
heard? You don't agree with me? What'd you say?
I didn't even say anything crazy. I just annoyed people enough that they finally banned me.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
So like you're off the message boards now.
We'll say that.
Right? Okay, he's definitely
He's got the burner.
Yeah.
He's definitely back on there. It's like
Just
something
look-
like it's
Just
something
look for like Oscar Clough fan
Yeah.
69. Like he's back
Braden
on
Smith
there.
lover.
it's gonna be like
456.
Andrew Luck fan 2020 or something crap like that. Some
R.I.P. Ursay.
Holy crap, dude! All right, so we can do a quick recap on week 7. I think we got.
I don't think it's gonna be quick, but
Probably not, but a recap of week 7. We got to start with Friday night. I had this game on my phone. Didn't need to watch it very much, but it was a blowout. South Florida goes into Denton and just dominates North Texas. And hand up, I picked North Texas in this one. I thought they would win. I thought their quarterback would be the difference maker. And he was the difference maker here. It's not in a positive way. Like, he cost them the game here. He had a fumble and a pick, didn't he?
he had 3 interceptions and a fumble.
3.
Mhm.
He blew
Yeah.
up. He just had a blow up performance. Like he just kind of blew up out of, just had one of those games where you keep making the mistakes, like, and they keep just spiraling out of control.
Because he had been perfect all year prior with no picks on the season. He was
Mm-hmm.
hit 11-0 ratio, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
The first half was pretty competitive. Like both
Yeah.
teams were going back and forth. There's a lot of turnovers on both sides. Like I think South Florida had like 3 turnovers in the first half, and then Mestamaker threw a couple picks. It was relatively close for a while, and then second half, South Florida just beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, because like didn't in the second half early on, or maybe in like last of the first half, early 2nd half, North Texas muffed that punt like in their own
Yeah.
in the South Florida red zone, like on the
Mhm.
15 or something. And ever since after that, it was over. Like South Florida just dominated. I'm pretty sure because like I was mainly following this game on Bleacher Report because I wouldn't be able to watch that much. But did any of y'all get to watch this one like through?
I watched the whole game. Yeah, it was super competitive through the first half, and then the second half started, pretty much South Florida realized that they're the team that beat Florida in the swamp, and just kind of didn't play around, played really effective football. I mean, they scored, I believe, 28 points within like 3 minutes of the game clock.
I know I was
impressive.
watching it till South Florida got up by a couple scores, and then I kind of passed out on the couch. Once it got to a certain, I was like, this isn't much of a game, and then fell asleep.
Matt, you got any thoughts about that one?
Yeah, that's South Florida's just a much probably more athletic, bigger team than North Texas. They're building a good product in Denton, but they're a bit behind from where a team like South Florida is now. And Golish has put in multiple years into that program and built them into kind of the Group of 5 monster that they are now. It's going to take some time for North Texas here, but yeah, that was a pretty dominating second half, all things considered, and yeah, now South Florida rather moves themselves into the really, really trendy Group of 5 playoff pick now for most.
It'll be Memphis.
It is. I mean, when do South Florida and Memphis play? Like I feel like that's.
Let me look.
I think it's
That's gonna be the game
next weekend. I think.
I'll check that. But I mean, we talked about it on last week's pod. Like, this game was going to go a long way in determining who gets that potential Group of 5 spot, and South Florida has to love where they're at right now as that Group of 5 bid.
And they're probably a better team than Memphis today. They, I think, have I would probably say they are better suited to match up with, in a college football playoff atmosphere on the road, than Memphis is today. Especially defensively, they actually have a pretty half decent defense. So, and they have the quarterback for it, obviously. So, yeah, I would probably.
they both have.
And you kind of hope that they're there.
They both have like signature wins over SEC teams going for them too, like Memphis over Arkansas and South Florida over Florida. So, I mean, that's a big part of this too. Is like, who have you beaten in those power? We know those Power 4 wins go a long way for teams. Like when it gets down to these discussions, and the fact that they both like have checked that box and beaten an SEC team is going to be big for both of them.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we got anything else to say about that one? Nope.
I was just gonna.
Alex Golish is going to be a popular guy.
Yeah.
Well, he already had a press conference where he did not do a very good job dispelling any doubt that he might be on his way out after the season.
I feel like the way to go for coaches like that to not embarrass yourself is like just Will Wade it. Like remember last year, Will Wade was like, yeah. Like this is it. I'm gone. Like
yeah,
but I still love this place. Like
I mean, there's so many high-profile openings. Like you'd have to expect any coach that's having a great season at the G5 level is primed to be taken away.
I mean, if we want to transition to that already, we can do that. I mean, the Penn State job's already open. That's probably going to be the best job this coaching cycle, right? That feels like the front runner.
Either that or Florida State.
Florida
State
Florida.
Yeah, Norvell's got to be gone.
For Florida, yeah.
Yeah, so you got Penn State's already open. Florida State likely will be open. Florida likely is going to be open. Auburn after this weekend could be open according to Pate with what he alluded to on that pod. I don't know if y'all listened to that, but Pate alluded basically saying if Auburn doesn't win versus Missouri, it's a bigger deal than just the standings. And he was like, if you pick up what I'm putting down, alluding to a freeze firing if Auburn's to drop the ball against Missouri. You remember that, Trev?
Yeah. Like, I mean, he was like, the Auburn game he's like, the Missouri game is big. Like, he was, like, he doesn't like talking about, like, speculating about coaches' jobs and stuff, but, like, so he did everything he could do without outright saying it. And
that's a lot, like you just said, he doesn't like to speculate and talk much about potential job openings until they're open. So the fact that for him to go out on that limb and say that's a lot to hear already. And he's a well-connected guy, with sources all over Auburn's program. So for him to be that confident and comfortable enough to be like, yeah, he doesn't win versus Missouri, he's done, is a very whoa statement. To me, that stood out to me when I was driving down the road listening to the pod this week. It shocked me because I've only heard him do that a couple times, and he's always been right whenever he's gone out on the limb and said that.
Wisconsin's another one.
Yeah,
that
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I've heard that he's Luke Fickle's cooked.
I mean, Arkansas is open too now.
And I've
Arkansas,
heard Michigan
Virginia
State
Tech.
too.
Michigan State
might
Oregon
open.
State.
Might open.
I probably wouldn't put Oregon State. That was like the Mean Girls meme. Like, are you saying Oregon State there?
It is a job opening. We'll say that. We'll leave it at that. But
UCLA.
UCLA, yeah.
You can go coach at the Rose Bowl in front of 100 people.
100 people.
I'd rather coach at Oregon State than UCLA, honestly.
The interim at UCLA is getting fucked, by the way, because like Jerry
Yeah, dude.
Neuheisel's getting all the praise. It's like I think most people don't even realize Jerry Neuheisel isn't even the interim coach. Yeah,
Jeez, guys, no one else going to help him out.
I know. I was like, I figured somebody would pick
I
up
mean-
there. It's just like, yep.
I go
Who
on
even is
Twitter.
the head coach? Was it the defensive coordinator
Tim
guy?
Skipper.
Who'd you say?
Tim
Tim
Skipper's the head
Skipper.
coach at UCLA.
I think he was an intern at Fresno State a couple years
Yes, he
back.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
he's
yeah,
got
like I guess we didn't
nice career
transition that
path
talking about
carved
job
out.
openings. Like obviously, this transition from Penn State obviously has the opening now. They
Yeah,
fired.
that's
Franklin.
the story.
Yeah, that is the story of Week 7. None of the games. This is the story. Penn State finally moves on from James Franklin, owes him the $50 million buyout. And, like, I want to start with this. Here's my concern if you are a Penn State fan. Has this year been a disappointment compared to what they thought Penn State would be? Absolutely. But we've seen it where these programs hire a coach who has been there for a good, like, a hot minute, has had success. Maybe he's not one of those guys like, yeah, he'll win a title here, but he's still a pretty solid football coach. Just like if you're a Penn State fan, who are you going to go out and hire? That's like, yep, that's an immediate, obvious upgrade over James Franklin. Like, I want to open the room for everybody to answer this question because I can't think of a name off the top of my head. Like, yeah, that guy's gonna be a better coach than James Franklin. Like, Matt, you're the Penn State guy in the room who knows the most about it. So, like, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, that's a multi-layered conversation for sure. For Penn State, I think a lot of people outside of Penn State circles don't quite understand how disastrous of a season it's been. It definitely the expectations for the program were the highest it has been probably since the mid-90s, and it could not have gone any worse for them. And I don't think this was a change they were expecting to make in the season, and then their hand was kind of forced. But I'm well connected enough both with people inside the athletic department, guys who played for James Franklin, that this is essentially is not a change that many inside the athletic department wanted to make outside of the board of trustees and Pat Kraft, the athletic director, the woman who gave James Franklin the inexplicable 10-year extension in 2021 is gone. And the 10-year extension was kind of sloppy because his record was no better then than what it is now. And so that's where most of this buyout's coming from.
All these coaches who are getting these insane buyouts, by the way, like that. So I was watching a show the other day. They all need to be sending Mel Tucker like a gift basket, because that was like the one that broke the dam on these buyouts.
Yeah, and like Jimmy Sexton is now in Scott Boras territory for college football, but currently the answer to your question is they don't have anyone better lined up. This is not a Georgia situation where Kirby was the next guy up, or when Bob Stoops kind of retired and Lincoln Riley was next up. They don't have anyone.
Retired.
Yes, of course, air quotes. But they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone lined up. So the problem now is they pretty much were like, well, we just need to, this has run its course. We're going to find someone else, move on. There's no guarantee. And then, in fact, I would say that the new coach probably won't be wins and losses any better than what they had before. This sounds like, with everyone that I've talked to, that this will be Matt Rule. Matt Rule is, went to State College High School, played for Joe Paterno. The athletic director now, Pat Kraft, hired him at Temple to be the head coach when he was the athletic director at Temple. And this, they have tried they've gotten in touch, I know, with Urban Meyer's representation and talked to him about the job, but he's not taken any jobs apparently, let alone Penn State. And yeah, it's pretty much Matt Rule, or it's if he wants a job, it's his. And Matt Rule is definitely very different from James Franklin. Like he won't be. James Franklin did not always handle the media gracefully. Like he had the Marcus Freeman press conference a year ago where he, pissed him off there with some of his comments. And, there are these clips floating around of him being pretty condescending with media members.
That one where I think it was like a student reporter who asked him, like,
Yeah.
why don't we air the ball out more? And he was
Yes.
like, "Oh, air the ball out!" Like,
Yeah.
he's such an
I don't know
asshole
what that
about
means.
it.
My skin is shaking. Like he was saying like Matt Rule's not that. Matt Rule is a hire that will make most Penn Staters very, very happy. Just, that kind of culture. And, Penn's, like a lot of these schools have, like USC was constantly chasing the Carroll years with some of their hires after he went to the NFL. Michigan's always been big on like, we need a Michigan man to be our coach. And yeah, this would be the closest thing for Penn State, and it's his job if he wants it. I don't think Matt Rule is the best candidate on the market that they could get for the job, but I think that is the easiest fit. And
Who do you think it is?
For me, I would probably take Joey McGuire, the gentleman in the picture behind me. Like he's basically built an SEC team at Texas Tech.
He's at his alma mater though. Like I don't.
He is, yeah.
Oh,
And
he's not moving.
He's a huge Arkansas guy also. So if he were to leave, it would be for there. But if I could like have any coach on the market that's like, if you threw enough money at him, they would leave, it would probably maybe be him. But I think Eli Drinkwitz, Coach Drink, is probably a better candidate today than Matt Rule. But I don't think
we talked about it. We talked about it a little bit before we came on here. I was just gonna ask you and like everybody else too. But like, are we all in agreement? Like Signetti isn't going anywhere. Like
Probably
everybody throws around Signetti for all these jobs, but it's like I think he's set at Indiana. I don't think he has any reason to leave there.
So I know for a fact that there is no mutual interest of any kind between Signetti and Penn State. Penn State does not plan on reaching out to Sig or his representatives. This seems like apparently it was going to be Urban, Matt Rule, Matt Campbell, and then if neither of them wanted the job or took the job, then, who knows? But yeah, I know for a fact that Sig is not. If he leaves Indiana, it's not going to be for Penn State. So I could see Sig leaving, but I don't think it's.
I think he's
going to for Penn State.
I think he's going to go to Florida, if I had to guess.
Yes, I would second that. I think he's going to make Florida annoyingly good, and
I don't think he's going anywhere though. Like
I think he stays put too. Like Travis alluded to earlier before we hopped on, like they have the money now to like keep up with anybody financially and keep him there. Like that's just like Travis alluded to earlier before we went live. Like college football fans in general need to like update their viewpoint in these programs. Like there's not really the have and the have-nots anymore. Like because of donors and all this like stuff in the NIL era, like it's more open and more balanced like more than ever before. And so like if this was 2008, sure, Florida probably would get Signetti pretty easily to go there and leave Indiana. But now we're in 2025 and that's not the same world we're living in anymore. Like it's a different world. And like I think he sits at Indiana as well. I don't see him going anywhere in this coaching cycle personally.
Well, the problem with that is that this is not a man driven by money. Like he was the coach at Elon and IUP, which is a Division II PSAC school in Pennsylvania for years because his dad had the job. And he was the coach at JMU. Like he probably could have chased bigger jobs. And like, he's all about fit. So if he thinks that Florida's a good fit, like he'll go. Like if he thinks Arkansas is a good fit, he'd probably go. Like he was the recruiting coordinator for Nick Saban for 4 years at Alabama. So like he's recruited that area pretty strongly. And I think there's going to come a time for Sig. I don't know if it's this year or when, but like, today the Oregon game was so shocking because if you went through like, players 1 through 22 on both rosters, like Indiana might have maybe 4 guys at most who are starting for Oregon. And like, he still was able to win that game on them. But I think there might come a time, like, if I were a coach, now I don't know what's inside Sig's head, like, is this the best fit for me? And can I win a national championship here? Like, it remains to be seen whether he can win a national championship in Indiana, but he certainly would have more resources at his disposal at an SEC school, much less at Florida and Arkansas. He could probably recruit at a much higher level what he recruits at Indiana. So,
And he won in West Virginia,
not,
and they dropped the ball with that one.
Yeah, and like he's not he just does not strike me as a coach who's driven by like, oh, who's going to pay me the most here? Like, he has not been that way ever. Like, and I don't see him just changing his ways now. Like, he'll go wherever he probably feels he can win at the highest level and what is the best fit for him and his style. So we'll see. I mean, Indiana's certainly done their share to keep him, but yeah, I would not be shocked if he, took that Florida job or Arkansas job and he thought that he could build up one of those programs in a much more really fertile recruiting ground. Because Indiana, no matter how much Sig wins there, is never going to be bigger than Notre Dame. And like, they're never going to be bigger than Ohio State in that area. Like, so it's a tough job. And, like it's a testament to how great of a coach he is that he's winning at such a high level where no one has won. So good on Sig, but yeah, I would not be surprised if he bolted for another job.
Well, Matt, let me ask you this then, because you mentioned him going potentially to 2, SEC jobs in Florida and Arkansas. Do you think he'd leave for Auburn then?
I mean, sure, yeah. Like, I don't see that wouldn't be a deterrent to him. I mean, I feel as if that guy is like motivated and wired by competition. He's recruited that area. He clearly recruited that area at a pretty high level because Saban credits him with recruiting people like Julio Jones and Mark Ingram and both those guys. One of them is going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame and the other one won a Heisman. And yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Sig went to Auburn. I just it's more or less the notion that he's at Indiana indefinitely. I don't think so. Like, I just don't think that is a man who, if they like slapped a blank check in front of him, like, I don't think that's what motivates him as a coach. So we'll see. But yeah, ultimately, I would speculate he ends up at Florida if I had to guess.
Well, as one of the 2 Auburn guys in the room, I definitely hope he at least has a chance of him coming here and at least could get him for an interview, and at least he would entertain the thought. So, but I mean, for that Penn State job, though, to kind of circle back to that, I feel like a name that hasn't really been talked about much in this whole coaching search is Manny Diaz. Like, sure, Matt Rule's the front runner, but like Manny Diaz, before he took the Duke job as the head coach, obviously was the DC there for 2 years, the DC and linebacker coach for 2 years. So like he understands that program. He'd be a good fit. So like, why isn't Manny Diaz, like in all y'all's opinion, getting more attention for that Penn State job?
Because people watched him coach at Miami. And we're like, no, thank you.
Manny Diaz killed it as the defensive coordinator at Miami when Mark Richt was the coach. He was the architect of the turnover chain and everything. And that defense was good. And he had them playing really, really well. And that defense wasn't exactly just pros up and down the field. He had them playing really well. They played a really opportunistic style of defense. And then once he became the head coach, it kind of like it didn't go sour, but it was very clear that he was not as up for the job of head coach as he was of defensive coordinator there. And, not only that, like when he got the job at Miami, he was already agreed to be the coach at Temple. He backed out of that in order to take the Miami job. There's a chance, like, we've seen retreads before who have had head coaching experience and they bounce back and be really good head coaches. I can tell you this, I do not think Penn State fans would be exactly thrilled to replace James Franklin with Manny Diaz. That would be a rather underwhelming hire to most. And I don't know. Like, Duke's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I think he's done a nice job at Duke, but like he hasn't done any better of a job than like Dave Cutcliffe did, before him, or like he's not exactly doing what like Brent Key is doing at Georgia Tech now, or Sig is doing at Indiana now, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean he's he was defensive coordinator there, and he certainly has ties, but
he also inherited a pretty good program from Elko. Like they were in good shape when he took over there. Like,
and yeah, as we've seen, like Duke has had a decent run of head coaches. So yeah, I just don't exactly. I mean, Manny Diaz could be a really good head coach if somebody gave him that opportunity, but I just I don't exactly think that you're any closer to beating Ohio State if you're Penn State if you replace James Franklin with Manny Diaz. So
yeah,
we'll see,
you take a step back.
Yeah, I do not think that. And again, like I think Penn State is, in their case, they're looking for like someone who is a head coach today. Like I do not think that they are going to take that shot at someone like Will Stein or Glenn Schumann. They probably want someone who is currently running a program and someone who can get them over the top in their mind. So,
well, speaking of that, you gave me a pretty good transition there. This is a guy that's been alluded to, and Penn State apparently, like decision makers and fans have poo-pooed on this idea, but like Matt Campbell, that feels like that would be such a good hire if they can't get Matt Rule or like a realistic one. That would probably be a pretty good hire if you're gonna move off James Franklin like they did. So like, what do y'all think about that one?
I mean, Matt Campbell's awesome. Yeah.
I would love Matt Campbell at Auburn. Like
I was about to say, like I'm kind of hoping he doesn't go to Penn State. Like so, whenever it feels like I don't like saying this, but like inevitably when Auburn moves off Freeze, like he's one of my top choices up there with like Drinkwitz and like Glenn Schumann, like as the next head coach of Auburn for sure. Like he's someone I feel like.
Matt Campbell's another coach though, where it's like he's not just leaving there for any job. Like, I mean, we're talking about a guy. He turned down the Lions. He turned down North Carolina this past year. Like he's turned down the Jets.
Yeah.
Like he's turned down like big jobs to stay at Iowa State. So like I don't think it's just.
But he's out of money. Like Iowa State is critically in debt, and they have no money. They're not going to be competing in the Big 12 in the matter of 3 years.
They can get Butch Jones. He just got a big win.
Well, the fact of the matter is, I think that's what makes Matt Campbell a really impressive candidate. The Iowa State is a school currently where their NIL collectives are mostly, they do not necessarily have enough to go around for all their sports. So most of their resources are going into their basketball program currently, because that they're attracting more top talent that they, will have to pay market value to than the football team. And Matt Campbell's, like, I think one of the better program builders and roster builders out there. Iowa State is not recruiting 5-star players. They're recruiting mostly 2- and 3-star players, developing them, and then turning them into really, really good players who, in most cases, are playing in the NFL or at the next level. If Matt Campbell had like 5-star talent and that kind of thing, I think it would be raps. That'd be
scary.
He'd be talked about the same way that people talk about, the best coaches in the sport. And Matt Campbell is there now. Like NFL teams are not approaching him by mistake. Like he runs a lot of pro style schemes, and offensively they've had talent over the years. Obviously losing receivers last year, they lost 2,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
And it's been a struggle for them this year. But yeah, I could see him leaving. He's one of those coaches out there who you're just kind of like, man, you would really like seeing him with having the opportunity to coach some of the best players in the country.
What if he
But
had
yeah.
Auburn resources? Like, what if he is the next coach at Auburn and he had the Auburn resources?
Yeah, I think you would see a situation where that would be like the Auburn fans would have to be patient because you're probably looking at like first season he might be 6-6 or 7-5, and then
we take that.
about to
yeah.
say.
I mean, like second season, that's probably when you see Matt Campbell's team take off. So
he's just not a winner in my opinion. He's been
What?
above average. at
What are
Iowa
you
State.
talking about?
What?
Hey, I'm saying Iowa State, man.
Yeah, Iowa State. Iowa State. Like, we're talking about Iowa State.
He hasn't won
They're-
anything there.
He's at
They-
Iowa
Iowa
State. Like,
They were the doormat of the Big 12 before he got there, and they've turned themselves into a respectable program.
well, you can go back for. I mean, Matt Campbell at Toledo was a really good head coach, and then
Dude,
he did a good job with Toledo, and then getting Iowa State. They were in the Big 12 championship game last year. Now, granted, they got
Yeah.
torched by
They went
Arizona State,
11-3 still.
I was
Yeah.
having the same conversation earlier about like somebody I was talking to about Auburn, and I said Eli Drinkwitz, and they were like, "Who's he beating at Mizzou?" And I was like,
It's Missouri.
"I was like, are you kidding me?" Like,
He
He's
might
at
beat you
Missouri
this
with
week.
Missouri
Yeah,
resources
like-
and almost beat Alabama this weekend. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, Drink's another one who is. I mean, granted, he beat Ohio State. He has that win to his name, and he was in a situation where he took over App State after their coach Scott Satterfield took the Louisville job, which was then a disaster. Then he moved on to Cincinnati, but Drink came in and really made that team better than what they were before at App State, and then that's when he jumped to Missouri, and he's done a really good job there. But they like one of the things you should look for in head coaches, like Missouri always has good running backs. They always run the ball really well, and the quarterback's always pretty decent. So, and like Brady Cook, who was their old quarterback, is not lighting up the NFL. Like he was good because Drink kind of elevated him, and he's kind of doing the same thing with both of you. And now, Drink should be someone where like every program in the country, if they had a head coach opening, should look at him. I think he seems happy at Missouri. I don't know what it would take to get him out of there, and it's kind of a sketchy kind of move because it's it's in the conference, and we've seen that before. But I don't know. He should be someone who is a target of anyone with a job opening. But yeah, he's doing really good stuff in Missouri. You could argue they might have or should have beaten Bama last week. And then this week, obviously, they're going to Auburn. So, yeah, I mean, he's one. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt's another one, but I don't think he's going to leave either.
well, he doesn't have a national championship according to Juve, so he's like bad hire.
Yes, yes,
Not
that
a
is
winner.
true. Juve is very harsh on all. I don't know what who he sees as a winner, like besides like Art Briles and Gary Patterson. He was just telling us the other day that Gary Patterson should not have been fired at TCU. So
I think he shouldn't have.
yeah,
Sonny Dykes
he-
has a year left. Max.
Mm,
Honestly, I could see if
mm.
TCU doesn't go 6-6, Sonny Dykes is gone by the end of this year.
Mm.
They're TCU on the coaching carousel.
He doesn't have any equity built up from the whole like.
Going to the
that was
national
3 years
championship.
ago. I mean, that was 3 years ago with Gary's players. I mean, I think TCU, all of my TCU fans I know, they all want more. I mean, they got embarrassed last weekend at K-State.
Going to the
We can
national.
embarrass them this
What do you
weekend.
mean they want more? They went to the national championship. Is that
Yeah,
not like?
you're-
I
That's
lost
like.
by 60.
Are you getting better than that at TCU? Like,
I think that's the highest you're punching. Like, your TCU, you got to take that. And you gotta
They're never
roll
going to
it.
replicate that, though, and they know that. Like,
Yeah,
Sonny
but who will
Dykes
you hire that can replicate that then?
I don't think they are able to hire anyone who can replicate it. They're just kind of cooked in their position, but I mean, in terms of like
So
being
just keep
competitive, in
churning
the
through
Big 12,
coaches. Like,
Yeah, just move off coach after coach. Auburn
They
learned
are
that
just
as well.
lusting
Mow 'em
after
down.
losing by 58 in the national championship game. They're just wanting more. That's a tough one there. Yeah, Trevon Boykin is not walking through that door for TCU, and nor is Max Duggan. So they're toast.
I mean, they have a decent quarterback now in Josh Hoover, and they're not really doing much with him. So
oh, I've never brought this one up to Juve. Juve, your 2014 Baylor should have made the playoff, right?
both Baylor and TCU should have made the playoff. Both
So
of
who
those
else would have
teams
been
would have
out?
won. I don't.
Ohio State would have been out.
Playoff
Florida
that year
State should
was
undefeated. Florida State should have been out again.
Both of
Oregon.
everyone knows both of those teams would have won the national championship. Either one of them. They played it. Bob
I love it.
Bowlesby
Bob
screwed up.
Bowlesby. Yeah.
Bob
Both of those teams would have won a national title. No one
would have
was
won a
touching them.
national title.
No one was touching them. Those
Not
I will
Ezekiel
say-
Elliott running for 300 yards. Like,
No.
I will say that that year TCU just pounded Ole Miss in the Chick-fil-A Bowl that year. So, and that was the year I think that the Baylor kicker got like clocked in the Cotton Bowl against Michigan State. But yeah, they were good.
that was the
That's a
Sean
shame.
Oakman
Sean
meme
Oakman,
game.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That was a very true shame that Bob Bowlesby didn't have a national championship, or a conference championship rather. But yeah, tough times for the Big 12 there. That was their last
TCU beat Iowa State like 65-0 on conference championship week.
Yeah, and that wasn't. And Bob Bowlesby's just looking at our brows, hands up, like doesn't know what to say. But
Shouldn't have lost to West Virginia.
yeah, that's
Hey, Dave Aranda somehow was the coach that got Baylor's first win in Morgantown last year.
I think that says more about where West Virginia's at than Baylor.
yeah.
I mean,
Probably
West Virginia
does.
was mediocre last year. I think they went 7-5.
Were they? They changed coaches, so yeah. Well,
I mean,
you
they're
guys
kind of in the
wasn't on
same
here, but
situation as TCU. I mean, they're
Russ
never
wasn't
going to
on
go
here
back to how
last
good they
week,
were.
but when we were picking games or something, it was like Ohio State, Illinois. It was like, yeah, I think Caleb Downs and Ohio State's defense are pretty good. It was like, is that so? Are they?
Yeah,
Let's say
you're okay.
decent group. Giving up
Well,
five a
before we
game.
get into the week 8, previews, is there anything else in week 7 we should touch on? Because we've been going for
Yeah.
7 minutes. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should.
What?
This
Yeah.
this university, like,
Yeah, I thought we would get there eventually after we cover all the games, but you know what?
Yeah.
Travis, you
Jude,
seem like
you
you have a
gotta
lot to
tell
say.
me what. Jude, you got to tell me what, or tell them what you told me about how
The ball started to move. I think the ball did cross the plane, but it was moving at the time it crossed. I watched that replay like 20 times because they just kept showing it on ESPN over and over again.
So Juve and Pate both think the ball did not cross the goal line.
And honestly, it just became irrelevant anyways. Like, you can see
No, that's
officiating.
we can get to the officiating stuff because we're like I'm gonna rant. Thanks for giving me that before. We can get to the officiating stuff. We will discuss the officiating stuff, but I think any Auburn fan who's like being honest with themselves and come out of the game, and anybody who watched that game, like, we know after this game, like, Hugh Freeze is done. It's like it's over. Like, he had 3 weeks to get it right. If he wins one of those 3 games, one of these last 3 games, we're having a different discussion. Was there bad officiating in Oklahoma and in Georgia? Yeah. But what we saw in the second half on Saturday was just a fucking disgrace. It was hard to watch. It's fucking terrible. And whether you think the goal line play was the right call, wrong call, like, we'll have the discussion. The officiating is awful, and yes, we will get to that. But you cannot let one play and one bad call just completely fucking demoralize your team and take you out of a game the way Auburn did. They didn't get their way on the goal line play, and the whole team from the top down, that starts with coaching, quit. The team quit. They had no energy in the second half. Whatever, like, play calling, like Hugh Freeze, and he was, for the first, 29 minutes of the first half, coached a masterclass. Like, probably the best 29 minutes he's coached at Auburn was the first 29 minutes of that Georgia game. And then to just let one bad call let the entire operation just fall apart. The team had no energy. The play calling was terrible. Like, you can tell Jackson Arnold sucks. Jackson Arnold is garbage. Like, and that falls on Hugh Freeze too, because he had his pick of the litter with quarterbacks in the portal, and he decides to pick Jackson Arnold. And Jackson Arnold is the type of player. I mean, Jackson Arnold plays not to lose, and he will not. There's a reason. You look, he hasn't thrown an interception this year. The fucking great Jackson. We complained about this with Peyton Thorne and turning the ball over too much last year. But you know what you're not going to do when you have an elite receiving core with Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton and Perry Thompson and Malcolm Simmons? If you don't get them the fucking ball, what's even the point of having them on the team? And Jackson Arnold is so scared to make any mistakes. He won't take a shot to these guys. Like, they don't give him chances. I think they took one shot to Eric Singleton in the game. They took the end zone shot to Cam Coleman early in the game. Like, why is the ball not in these guys' hands? Did Eric Singleton have a catch on Saturday? Like, am I missing something?
He had a few jet sweep carries, but no catches.
Jackson Arnold is like, and this starts with coaching, but it falls on him too. If you play not to lose, you're going to lose the game. And that's what Auburn did in the second half on Saturday. It was some of the most disgraceful, hard to watch bullshit I've seen ever. Like, it was disgusting. I don't know how you play that good of a first half, call the masterclass of a game Hugh Freeze did in the first half, and you let one bad call just tear the entire operation down. Like, it was still 10-0 at that point. Georgia had the ball on the goal line. You're up 10-0. You get a stop. You go into the locker room up 10-0. You regroup. A normal coach, a coach worth their salt in anything, goes to the locker room, gets the team motivated, makes some adjustments. And, like, when this team just came out flat and quit in the second half, it's like we can complain about the bad calls and, like, the officiating disaster that game was. One of the worst football games anybody, I'm pissed I spent money to sit there and watch the absolute bullshit that was in person. It was a joke of a football game. The SEC should be ashamed of what was out there, like, just based on the officiating, and Auburn should be ashamed that Hugh Freeze is still employed as of today, because just that whole second half debacle with, and like I said, we'll get to the officiating, but I am just so frustrated with what Auburn came out and the absolute pile of shit that they presented out there in the second half in that game. What are we doing? Like I said, you play not to lose, you're going to lose the fucking game. That's what Auburn didn't, like, they just played not to lose in the second half. They ran the ball great in the first half, and Georgia was in too high most of the first half and was playing a lot of man. And Auburn was able to take advantage of that and run the shit out of the ball in the second half. But you know what Georgia has? Coaching. Coaches that make adjustments in the locker room. And that's what Georgia did. Like, Georgia sold out to stop the run in the second half. And Jackson Arnold had to take some chances and move the ball down the field if Auburn was going to win that game. And as Georgia made those adjustments, Auburn did not. And they made those adjustments and dared Jackson Arnold to beat them. And boy, Jackson Arnold did the exact opposite of beat them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep saying the same stuff, but it was just, and then, like, the next day, like, it's all imploding. Like, Damari Alston's off the team. He asked to redshirt.
Can I add to that before we start on that?
Yeah.
Like you said, though, like, you took every word out of, like, my mouth that I was thinking, dude. Like, this is a thing. This is not just a one-off now of the Georgia game where we came out flat and just Georgia was the tougher team and the more resilient team and just had the bigger balls in that spot, to be honest. That's the best way to put it. That has become the constant theme of Auburn in these late moments and these have-to-win moments. When they need it, they fall flat. And you know who that's exactly reflective of? Hugh Freeze. That's completely on him. There's no one else to blame because we've seen game after game. The 2023 Iron Bowl, where they were just in the last few moments, didn't have the wherewithal to call the right plays, to be clutch in that moment and make the plays that are needed. We see this game after game.
Simple stuff. Field a punt. Field a punt, and you win that game.
It's like they don't do the little things right. Then you finally get some optimism. Oh, they're going to transfer a quarterback. Peyton Thorne's gone. John Mateer's available. Fernando Mendoza is available. All these guys are available in the portal. Bo Perbula's available.
You can also keep Walker White.
I mean, Walker White hasn't played any for Baylor. I don't care about him. He hasn't done anything.
He's still a former 5-star.
Yeah, he'd be a former 5-star on Auburn's bench or Baylor's bench. He also lost.
He was a 4-star, but
he also lost to Auburn week 1. So whoop-de-doo. Saw 0 snaps. But anyway, you have all these guys in the portal that could be immediate playmakers, and you go and grab Jackson Arnold, whose confidence is shot. And I understood the upside. I understood the former 5-star. But at the end of the day, you have to go and get the better football player. It infuriates me because 2 years ago, when he doubled down on Peyton Thorne, Cam Ward was literally on campus, but he asked for a certain amount of money, and Auburn told him no. They told him no, and they doubled down on Peyton Thorne. And then this year, you have other guys who were interested.
Not only last year, to add what you're saying about last year, like Riley Leonard, from Alabama, would have walked to Auburn if Auburn offered him, and Auburn's like, no, thank you.
Auburn cheerleader. He's a Fairhope kid. He's from 2.5 hours away from Auburn. But instead, he ends up in South Bend, Indiana, because we're that much of a joke right now. And that's reflective on Hugh Freeze, and not only Hugh Freeze, but the decision makers. And whenever they do inevitably fire Hugh Freeze, I'm listing off all these names I want as the Nets head coach. So is Travis. They're going to hire somebody most likely that is not going to get it done. Because why would I believe anything differently? Because we haven't seen anything differently. And it's so frustrating as an Auburn fan when you know you have all this money and you're one of these programs that can actually compete and win for a national title because they have done it in my lifetime. They've played in 2 national titles. They've won 1. They've been in the mix before. And yet Auburn acts like there's some crumb bump program that goes and gets these retread coaches who suck. They do it time after time after time. And it's just it's exhausting. Auburn's one of those name brand programs that can actually win something and they don't act like it. I'm going to
the biggest strength of this team, and it goes to show the lack of coaching that this team has. What is the biggest strength we talked about with this Auburn team coming into the year? The receiving core. You have Cam Coleman. He was the #1 receiver in the country last year. You went and got Eric Singleton out of the portal and paid him a lot of fucking money. You stuck with Malcolm Simmons, who was a great recruit, and put up with a lot of bullshit in the offseason to stick with him because he's a great player. You recruited Perry Thompson, who's a 4 or 5-star receiver, one of the top 5 receiver prospects in the country. You have an absolute loaded receiving core on this team. You have athletes. You have physical receivers who can go and make plays, and you don't get them the ball. What are we doing? Well, I don't know why. Cam Coleman is gone. And I don't blame him at all. I love Cam Coleman. I hope he leaves and goes somewhere else and has success because he has all the talent to be a top 10 pick in the NFL when he's eligible to go in the draft after next year. And you're sitting here watching Auburn right now just completely waste one of the most talented receivers, probably the most talented receiver, one of the most talented players, period, to ever step foot on campus. And you're watching Auburn just piss that talent away. And it's you got to feel for the kid because this is a kid that has legit NFL aspirations and the talent to be a top 5, top 10 NFL pick. And you're wasting away with Peyton Thorne and Jackson Arnold and whatever the fuck this offense is. Like, you got to feel for Cam Coleman, man. You got to feel for Eric Singleton. You got to feel for Keandre Lambert-Smith last year, who came here, completely killed like his draft stock to waste away at Auburn with Peyton Thorne. He did everything he could. Eric Singleton, I know he had other options, and he came to Auburn to just completely have his talent be wasted by this coaching staff, this quarterback play. It is a freaking joke. And it's like, that is the strength of this team. That is what this team was built around coming into the year. And it's been completely squandered by a lack of coaching, a lack of quarterback play. Like, everything about it is just infuriating. And I don't know, like, sure, yeah, give Hugh Freeze one more game. Sure. Yeah, great. Like, whatever. But it's over. We all know it's over. We're not going to pretend that it's not over anymore. And we're just going to be right back to it. Like, Hugh's done a great job recruiting. That's like awesome. He's a great recruiter.
He flipped a 4-star linebacker today from Georgia. How?
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know why guys sign up to come play for this fucking idiot. Like, I want to hear these. I want to hear these recruiting pitches that Hugh Freeze is giving to these guys, because like, I don't know how, like, why anybody would want to come play, especially if you're an offensive skill player and you see what this offense is and what it's turned into. What possibly like makes you like want to come here and play for this guy? And then it's like, that's what, like, I told you from the start. Like, you were at my house like the day Jackson Arnold committed here, and it's like, dude, like, this is a guy who had confidence issues, who got benched at Oklahoma, and it's like, did we really ever think there was a possibility that Hugh Freeze was going to coach this guy up to his potential? Like, Hugh Freeze was going to be the guy to unlock him. Let's be real here. Did we ever think that was like a possibility that was going to happen? No, we tried to be optimistic about it, and yeah, it's been exactly about what we expected. And you know, if it's not exactly what we expected, it's pretty damn close to it.
It might be worse.
Yeah, probably. Because I figured we would at least take chances and try to get these receivers the ball. At least last year, yeah, Peyton Thorne tried to get these guys the ball. Threw a lot of picks doing it. I think he threw the most picks in the SEC last year. He took chances. He tried to get in the ball. And it's like, yeah, we were pissed about that. But I'll take that 10 times out of 10 over a quarterback who just plays not to lose and won't get these guys the ball ever. And that falls on the coaching, that falls on the quarterback, it falls on everybody. But whatever it is, it's a joke.
I mean, likely, whenever Auburn does move on from Freeze, right, it's likely that the new coach comes in, Arnold goes somewhere else, some smaller program like Troy or something. Who gives a crap where he goes? I don't. And he ends up with some smaller program. And it's just like, I don't know where I'm going here. I'm just sick of Auburn being a joke. Like, you look around the SEC, Alabama lost the greatest head coach to ever exist. They're still humming. Georgia has Kirby Smart. They're going to be elite as long as they have him. Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin, they're humming. Tennessee under Josh Heupel, they're humming. Who are some other teams that are doing their thing? Like,
Clark Lee at Vanderbilt.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M with Mike Elko. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a better football program than Auburn is right now. That is if you would have told me that back in 2013, when Auburn had just won a natty in 2010 and made it the title game in 2013, I would laugh at you. But it's the reality we live in.
There's a real argument over the last 5 years that Auburn has been the worst football program in the SEC. There's a real argument to be had there.
Yeah,
they haven't had a winning season since 6-4 COVID year in 2020, and you fired the guy who got you to the national championship after that year because 6-4 wasn't good enough.
In a COVID year.
Yeah, in a COVID year. And you fired that guy.
But yeah.
And I'll take the blame for it. I think a lot of us were happy when that happened. But like, boy, were we wrong. And like I said it last week, like that's the cautionary tale to Penn State is like, you know, you have a guy who might not be getting you to the top level you want to get, but you've sustained a decent amount of success. You might be best served just to stick it out with that guy because it can get a lot fucking worse. And unfortunately, Auburn's found that out the last 5 years where I would give anything to be back to where we were with Gus.
Yeah, because at least with Gus, you may have those low years where you're 6-6 or 7-5, but you at least
That was
know,
the floor. That was the floor
Yeah.
with Gus.
But
Like,
you now that would be now that's the ceiling with Hugh Freeze. It feels like, but at least with those 6-6 or 7-5 seasons under Gus, you would have those random years. You'd go 9-3, or 10-3 with a bowl win, or 11-3 like with an SEC title appearance. Like, and now we're not.
we
even,
almost ran Gus out of town after 17, and he was if he didn't beat Bama, he was going to go 9-3 and probably leave to go to Arkansas.
yeah,
Like,
it's just such a joke, dude. It's such a joke. It's a joke of an organization and a program.
it's a disgrace. Like, I mean, there's Auburn has all the resources, the facilities, the NIL,
The alumni.
the alumni, the fan base. Like, just it is a place that should be. It should be one of the best football programs in the country. Like, they're not. Auburn is one of the best college towns in the country, and I haven't been to a lot of them, but it is an incredible community, incredible fan support. Like, Auburn fans will never give up on Auburn. Like, you don't get Auburn. You don't have a fan base that checks out and see Jordan-Hare Stadium half full because the fan base quits like you see at other places. That'll never happen at Auburn because this fan base and this alumni and these students, like, they will always pour their heart out to support Auburn and support this football team. And everybody involved in it, in the community, the fans, the alumni, the students, deserve better than what has been put on the field for the last 5 years.
We deserve better. Like you just said, despite all that crap, despite how frustrated I am with Auburn being a joke all the time and being the laughing stock of the SEC right now, I'm still going to be at the Auburn-Missouri game. You know why? Because I love going back to Auburn. I love going to the games, despite us being a joke. And we're probably going to get beat by 30 on Saturday. But who gives a crap?
I saw a tweet the other day. If you're a senior at Auburn right now, you know how many home SEC wins you've seen the entire time you've been at Auburn?
Don't tell me. 5.
4.
Yeah, I knew
it was the fumble out of the end zone against Missouri. It was the Cadillac A&M game. It was 2023 Mississippi State and the A&M game last year. 4. If you're a senior at Auburn right now, getting ready to graduate, you have seen 4 SEC home wins your entire time in school.
That's unacceptable, dude. Like, for starters, that shouldn't only get coaches fired. That should get decision makers fired. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's such a joke of a program right now, and I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, we talk about John Cohen, and I mean, we saw like what happened with the ref on Saturday and stuff. If I was thinking about John Cohen, like, John Cohen better pray that Stephen Pearl like keeps basketball going. Because if basketball doesn't sustain the success they had with Bruce with Stephen, John Cohen, goodbye.
John Cohen didn't even hire Bruce.
Yeah, no, Jay Jacobs hired Bruce a long time ago, and it's like, this was the first time, like, because Alvin Green gave Bruce the extension, so like this is the first time John Cohen's even had to make a decision with the basketball program,
and he better hope it works out.
Now, he better hope Steven keeps it going.
But how much of a choice did he have with the basketball program with Steven being the next guy? I don't know. That's a different discussion, though. We can talk about that on One Shining Recap another time. But like, how long has he been the AD there? Since 2021, right? Something like that.
No, 23. I think he came in the same time as Freeze.
Okay, so 23. So he's hired Freeze. That's been a dud. The old women's basketball coach, I'm pretty sure he hired her too. That's been a dud. Like, she's
22 because he fired Harsin.
Yeah, so he hired Freeze. I'm pretty sure he hired Coach Harris, the women's basketball coach. I could be wrong. It's around that time. She's obviously fired now. Softball, he hired them. So, like, every decision this guy has made up to date has not been a good one.
Yeah, you look at the successful programs at Auburn, like Bruce Pearl was there before him, Butch Thompson was there before him. Like, he hasn't had to make any of these big decisions. And he better be sending Bruce Pearl a gift basket every day. Like, no wonder Bruce Pearl's special assistant to the AD. Because if I'm John Cohen, like, you owe your entire reputation to a basketball coach that you didn't even hire. the reason that you're not a laughing stock in Auburn.
But before we move on to, covering week 8 and getting some of these picks in, the last thing I want to say is like
The officiating.
we can touch on that. It's obviously such a joke though. Like we know about it. I was going to say while Eli Drinkwitz is there, show him around the place, John Cohen. Get him real comfortable. Like, because that should be the number one guy on the list, should it not? Like, for the head coaches, like go ahead and get do whatever you can to get Eli Drinkwitz to Auburn. Do whatever it takes, Like your job depends on it, because it kind of does for John Cohen at this point. No.
I wanted Glenn Schumann at one point, but like I've soured on that because it's at this point for Auburn, they have to go get a guy that they know can build a program that they know can win. Like there's no more of like you can't take a chance on, like, we've taken 2 straight chances on group of 5 hires basically. I know Freeze was at Ole Miss, but then he repaired his reputation at Liberty and you got him from there. You hired Harsin from Boise State. Like, no, you need to go get a guy who can win at the Power 4 level in the next hire. You need Matt Campbell. You need Eli Drinkwitz.
Joey McGuire. Somebody.
Yeah, McGuire. Like,
just somebody.
Do I dare say James Franklin?
I was thinking that. I'm not gonna lie, I thought about that earlier.
Kurt Signetti, as we mentioned earlier, I don't believe that one, but Matt seems to believe that's a possibility. So
I would, dude. The things I would do for Kurt Signetti at Auburn, I can't even speak them. Would do
Jacob, Matt, and Juve. I'm sorry you guys have had to sit here and listen to this, but I had a lot to get off my chest.
That was quite entertaining.
I needed that. I feel a weight now.
I have a wild
much
name
better.
Auburn should hire. Is
Ryan
unlikely,
Walters.
This ought to be good.
Hire Jeff Brom from Louisville.
He's an alma mater guy too, so I don't good luck getting him.
I just want you to hire him away from Louisville just to watch them cry.
When I look at coaching searches, I usually cross alma mater guys off the list. So because I was thinking Brent Key, he's an alma mater guy. Clark Lee, Dillingham.
Yeah, sorry we made y'all sit through that, but low key, I kind of needed that.
Do you guys want to talk about the SEC officiating or like?
I don't know if I can.
First of all, I do want to ask because I'm trying to
I'm clapping, by the way.
Yeah,
are you clapping?
I'm clapping. That was awesome. Can you describe how the stadium was when the call was overturned?
Oh my God, dude! Like, it was Auburn has a pretty respectful fan base, I'll say. Like, you're never gonna see like a Texas style.
Texas?
Yeah, like you're never gonna see like a Texas or Tennessee type incident at Auburn and I'm not trying to like pat like my team on the back, but like I think it's the reality. Like, our fans have a little bit more class than that. Like, and I don't think you're ever gonna see something like that at Auburn. Like the mustard bottles or trash like you saw it. Yeah, golf balls. Like, you're not that kind of stuff just doesn't happen at Auburn. That's not how we do things. But that was as close as I've ever seen things to like boiling over at Auburn. And it wasn't just that, like, and this is where like the officiating topic as a whole is more, it was just constant review after review. Like, right after the fumble, you had the play. How do we're reviewing a catch, which it wasn't a catch, by the way, but whatever. You're reviewing a catch. It wasn't a catch. You somehow leave it a catch when it wasn't a catch. And you're like, oh, by the way, the Auburn player's ejected. What are we doing? Like, and it was like that, like everything compiled on top of each other. Like, there was a clear, I think it might have been in the third quarter. Yeah, it was. Cause it was when Auburn went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get it. On 3rd down, there was a clear targeting on Georgia that didn't get called, where like Freeze literally waited till there was 1 second left on the play. Like, he didn't even call in a play because he was just assuming it was going to get reviewed for targeting, and let the play clock run all the way down. Takes a timeout like is screaming at the ref the whole time. They go into a TV timeout, and they had the clock up to 3 minutes, and Freeze is just laying into this ref the entire TV timeout. It never gets reviewed for targeting. They showed the replay on the Jumbotron like 8 times, I think, and like they were just showing it over and over and over and over. Like they were just rage baiting the fans basically because they kept showing the replay of this targeting. It somehow doesn't get reviewed. And it was the most textbook targeting you could possibly call. Doesn't get reviewed. Auburn goes for it on 4th and 1, doesn't get it. You have it might have like another play that could have changed the complexion of the game because if that gets called targeting like it obviously was, you give Auburn 15 yards, they're at the 21. Like good chance you at least get 3 points out of that drive. Doesn't happen.
Yeah,
and the last 2 minutes of the second half, the last 2 minutes on the game clock took 40 minutes. 40 minutes to play 2 minutes of football. Like, how is the SEC okay? And I'm not. This isn't just sour grapes, Auburn. I know it sounds like it, but whatever. Like, we had the Oklahoma game. We got our little fucking apology letter from the SEC. How is the SEC the highest level of college football okay with just this absolute clown show representation of the conference where these officials are just hijacking games? The whole timeout debacle, like I thought Pate did a great job talking about that. He's like, because this is like there's no point where the game just stops for nothing. You either throw the flag or for delay a game or you charge him the timeout. You don't just stop the game and then just be like, okay, time in, never mind. Like what on earth was that? There's no point where the game just like pauses. Unless you're reviewing something, you charge him a timeout, you call a delay a game. Other than that, like the fact that they stopped the game and let that no timeout, no flag, okay, we're just going to act like nothing happened, do-over. Like, how is the SEC okay with this being the best representation of the conference? Why does every review, every time the officials need to review a call, take fucking 10 minutes every single time? Whatever the call is going to be, why does every single review take 10 minutes? Does it take whoever's in fucking Birmingham or the ref or whoever's making the call that long to make a decision every single time?
Yeah, it's weird. That I remember this kind of used to be a running joke with like Pac-12 officials. It always used to be them. They had the worst officials, and then it kind of went to the Big 12. They were notoriously bad, and now it seems as if the SEC has taken up that mantle. Obviously, their games are more high profile, but so you see it more, I guess. But that was pretty rough, and ideally, I mean, I don't know how you like. Hey guys, if send out a memo to the ref, like, hey, if you see a coach clapping or demanding timeout, when like, don't give him the fucking timeout, like, or like, I don't.
Oh shit,
we lost Matt.
Oh, shoot.
But I'll pick up where he was picking off of, like, or going on about, like, if you see a coach running down you like a crazy person on the sideline doing this, what is that the universal term for?
What do you think?
Timeout.
What would one think? Like,
And then, like, the audacity for him to be like, I was clapping. No, bro. It's clear you were trying to call a timeout, and whenever the play didn't go, or the play was about to go your way, you wanted to retract it. And here's the worst part. Correct me if I remember this wrong. I was driving a little bit during this game. They gave him the timeout back. Didn't they do that?
no, they didn't. Yeah, you're right. They did not charge him the timeout. They did not throw a delay a game flag. They just, like, nothing happened. Like, there's no point in a football game where the game just stops for nothing. And that's basically what happened here. The game just stopped. Like, there was no flag. There was no timeout. There was no review. The game just stopped. And they're just like, okay, like, our bad. Like,
it literally looks like they went and picked up some random coaches from the Pike Road High School football game and were like, all right, you're going to officiate the Auburn-Georgia game, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football. That's literally what it seemed like. They just picked some guys up off the street and were like, yeah, you can officiate. because how many times they stop the game to talk about nothing and then call nothing and do nothing is astounding.
Was it like the replacement refs from in the
Yeah.
NFL that one year?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
And not only that, it's like these 10-minute review. How do you review it for 10 minutes and get the call wrong?
Yeah,
This is why they need to do what the ACC does, where it's like you get
like,
live listening.
whatever,
into
like,
what the hell
I've
they're
never
talking
seen
about.
a fumble be called. Like, we can talk about the goal line thing. Like, I've never seen a fumble be let's back up on the fumble. The Georgia, like, you can literally look at the picture before the ball was snapped, and there's a fucking Georgia helmet past an Auburn helmet, like so far offsides that like there is like you're looking at the picture here. Like, we're saying this remote is the picture, and like this quarter is Auburn, and
Now
this
we're
quarter
talking.
is Georgia. Well, like we're gonna do a demonstrate. There's a Georgia helmet sticking past an Auburn helmet that far in the Auburn backfield. How the fuck is that not offsides? And we complain about the same thing in the NFL with the tush push and with the Eagles being offsides. This was more egregious than that. Like, you can look at the side angle and see a Georgia helmet past an Auburn helmet. That is offsides. Like, how do you miss that? Like,
I do agree with Juve that we do need sound on. And
Matt, you were muted.
Oh,
Can you
man,
hear me?
I got him.
I didn't hear him.
Oh, it might just be mine.
Yeah,
my
Birmingham needs the ACC.
All right, let me
sound.
back
Birmingham
out.
does
Let's see
need
if,
the ACC setup.
I mean, it's such a
They
joke
do.
at this point, dude. It's such
I
a
mean,
joke.
the
at this point.
Big 12's got their cool hats. The ACC's got
But
sound on officiating. What's the
I
SEC
do
have?
actually think that the
10-minute
stakes
reviews.
are too high in the SEC for the officiating to be this bad, because that could quite literally cost Hugh Freeze's job.
Yeah,
That's
no.
going to cost that might cost Hugh Freeze. That might cost Jake Cohen. That might cost. I mean, not that Pittman, he was already toast, but just the fact that those kind of officiating blunders can have such huge consequences. And Auburn played a pretty horrible second half. Like, to be shut out in the second half of that game is
That's one way to put it.
unacceptable for them. And the game just really kind of turned.
So this is my thing with officiating, by the way. Like, this is just another like. So why when the game ends, like, we talk about accountability? Why do fucking Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold need to sit at a podium and answer for this shit? Why don't the officials need to sit in a press conference and answer for their fuckery? Why don't we know who they are? Like, why don't we know how they got this job, what their credentials are? Oh, if they fuck up, what's their punishment? Well, why don't they have to do a press conference? No, there's no accountability in officiating, and it boggles my mind, like, why that's the case.
So the SEC will never allow it. They are basically like a meat shield for the refs, that they won't allow those refs to go out and expose themselves, because it only makes the conference seem worse or look bad.
Doesn't the NBA like make the officials
They do
like a
yes,
media
the NBA
scrum?
does that, but that's part of they collectively bargained for that, and I think they got a pay raise because they agreed to do that. I think it's tougher in the college ranks. There's so many teams, there's so many games, there's such a shortage of officials. They have a very difficult time finding refs. There are refs, I know in Pennsylvania for sure, who do they do Division I college football, and they do high school on Friday nights.
But why do people not have a right to like? So like, if you turn on whatever, like, just name off a random SEC game happening this weekend. Just name off a game,
LSU,
any game.
LSU Vanderbilt.
All right, LSU Vanderbilt. If LSU Vanderbilt comes on Saturday and I'm on the fucking field officiating and I've never reffed a game in my fucking life, do people watching this game not have a right to know, like, hey, Travis, that idiot there, he's never reffed a game in his fucking life? Like, why do we know nothing about these people and their credentials and where they come from? Like, for all we know, they could literally be pulling people out of the fucking stands and putting them on the field to officiate these games. In fact, whoever they pull out of the stands would probably do a lot better job than most of these idiots they have out there most
Well, the
weeks.
problem is it's complicated with that because they want to protect the refs. So all refs who, I would assume, anyone who considers himself a good ref is going to want anonymity because, I mean, aside from the NFL and the NBA, nobody really knows refs' names.
And the
they want to
MLB.
know.
At the MLB, they show it on
Angel
TV.
Hernandez.
At the MLB,
Yeah.
like in every other sport besides
Yes.
college football, apparently, they will literally, hey, this is today's officiating crew, and we'll give you the names of like who is official. Like everybody knows, like
Yeah.
College
Angel
basketball.
Hernandez and Vic Carapazza, and like who's the old fat white guy?
Joe West.
Joe West. Yeah, like everybody knows like these like, but then like college football and like the SEC in particular, who we're focusing on now, it's just like you know nothing about these people.
So, like in the NBA, they have a union. They have a refs union. The umpires obviously have a union in baseball. It's
Like
much
we all know
different.
Joey Crawford. Like
Yeah, and I mean so it's different for them that they're like protected by a union. So and they're very hard to replace. So
why isn't that the case in college football? Do these conferences not have enough money for that to be the case? Like
so in college football, it's different. So like college football and college basketball are very different because you do know all the like everybody knows Ted Valentine,
Yeah.
Gene Steratore is a college. So like everybody knows college refs, but like in college football, because of the number of referees that they need, they're employees of the conference that they ref for. So the conference essentially is their employer, and the conference is going to protect them. They're not going to expose their officials to the media scrutiny after games. As stupid as that might be, that's just not something that I see the SEC doing, the Big 12 doing, the ACC doing.
We're too busy with our cool hats.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, because they're employees of the conference themselves, they are not going to make them have to answer questions. They don't want to. When you put a ref out there, it just, I mean, the conference, that's why the conference themselves is the ones who send out the like, hey, we got this call wrong kind of thing. It's not from anyone or anything else. It's from the conference themselves. So the conference reviews it. They rate the officials. I think they definitely, need, and this is an age-old question that the NFL had with full-time officials. The NCAA, like no conference in college football has full-time officials. So it's tough. It is not good that this is the situation now. They need to do a better job of vetting officials, probably. They need to do a better job of training them. But yeah, it's pretty crazy because these officials, in many ways, are like determining the future of Auburn's football program, of Hugh Freeze, of Jay Cohn, and like all these people involved. The stakes are just really high, so they need to do a better job of. At minimum, there needs to be more transparency. The ACC has nailed it because of that Birmingham, or because of their command center. They have nailed it. That is the model that should be adopted by the SEC, and I mean, I don't see why they don't, because that conference is full of delusional fan bases. Every single team has their sect of delusional fans who probably need to see that stuff going on. So yeah, I mean that would be my suggestion, is as much transparency as you can have. That would be the way to go. But they're never going to expose you know the refs because they're employees of the conference, and they just won't do it.
Yeah, but like you said, Matt, like the problem is that these aren't full-time employees. And I have a hard time believing that the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC, all these conferences don't have the money, especially the SEC and Big 10, don't have the money to pay these guys, full time and make it where they can actually live off what they're paying them. Like, I just have a hard time believing that. Like, if that's what needs to be done to get more clarity, then do it.
They do have the money. I don't think they want to spend the money, but they definitely have it. And it happens all the time. There are times where You'll have Big 12's refs or ACC refs or Big 10 refs be poached by the SEC, or vice versa. SEC refs will be poached by Big 10. So it's a constant cycle. It's also very regional. So, like I know for a fact in the Big 10 and the ACC, there are refs who do both high school football and college football, or Pee Wee football, and they do college football because they are so desperate for referees. They do not have the numbers that they once had. So I think the quality of refs has kind of dropped off. So for them, I don't know what it would cost to make refs full time in the SEC. The NFL doesn't do that. The NFL doesn't have full time refs. Sean Hockley is an attorney in his spare time, and he refs NFL games on Sunday. So I think the answer to that is that they just need to train for. In college football, I believe college football is harder to ref than the NFL. I think college football is the hardest version of football to ref. There are so many different rules. There's just so much more is going on. The fans are more involved. The coaches are just bigger than the players at some point.
We saw it you brought it up, the fans getting involved. It's I thought last year was one of the worst officiating malpractice moments we've ever seen in the Texas Georgia game.
Yes.
Where it's you don't review a play, and then the fans throwing trash on the field and delaying the game leads you to change the call on the field. They made the wrong call on the field, but that was malpractice. That they let that delay of the game change their call.
Yeah, it's a totally different sport, in my opinion, college football, than the NFL. The roster sizes are much bigger in college. You have full, the sidelines are packed to the brim. There's just a lot more going on. So I think that they just need to train the refs better than how they train them now, and prepare them for more of these types of scenarios, and they need more transparency. So it's unfortunately not a fix that will probably go into effect this year, which is frustrating because there's still a ton of football to be played. But yeah, I think it should not be a very difficult fix for the SEC. They should not have to devote that many resources to this. Should be very fixable.
But yeah, we've beat this officiating thing to death. But it's been 2 weeks now of Auburn's past 3 games where they've gotten absolutely screwed. The OU game and now the Georgia game. And I'm not even saying this is a sour Auburn fan. I hope the officiating gets figured out just for the good, the overall being of college football. Josh Pate mentioned on his podcast, there was some guy who was trying college football out for the first time and watched the Auburn Georgia game and was like, this is it. This is all the hype's been about. And it's no, it's not. There's so much more to the sport, than just that. And the fact that we're letting officiating get in the way of these all-time rivalries like Auburn Georgia is just terrible for the sport in general.
If you're not a diehard college football fan, SEC, Auburn Georgia fan particularly, that Auburn Georgia game, I can't imagine there weren't a lot of people who weren't Auburn or Georgia fans or just diehard fans in general that sat through that game.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that myself either. It was a tough watch. It was a tough watch. It was infuriating. That's the maddest I've ever been because of the pace of the game and the officiating I've ever been in my entire life.
They reviewed 3 plays on the first drive of the game.
Yeah, what do we do? I don't know. I don't even know where you go from here as the SEC. Unless your option is to make them full time, it's a joke. There's nothing you can do really.
I think the SEC owes Hugh Freeze employment at this point.
They cost him his job probably.
Yeah, we trust me. I just ranted about Hugh Freeze. Not that he is probably going to do enough to save his job anyway. But yeah, I think it's fair to say SEC officiating certainly accelerated it.
Yeah, if there was any chance of Hugh keeping his job, this was one he had to win, especially after the 2 weeks we've had with Oklahoma and Texas A&M. This was a must-win game. Like, this is a spot you had to win right here, coming off a bye as well. And just first half was awesome. That was like probably like you alluded to, Hugh Freeze's best first half in Auburn, like his whole tenure there. And the second half, the team doesn't know how to look like they've never played football before. It looks like he's never coached before. It's just a joke. That's all.
Yeah, they didn't get their way on the goal line play and they quit.
So they gave up, and that's reflective on the coach. It 100% is, and that's like I don't even know why we expected something different. That's what we've seen with this team under Hugh Freeze. He just gives up. And we haven't talked about this yet. Damari Alston, a guy he handpicked to be a team captain in the preseason, leaves the team, and all over Instagram and Twitter, you see, love you, Damari, 10 toes down, all supported him. Not one player came out and was like not supportive of him.
He asked to redshirt because he's hurt and we suck and he's a senior and wants to play another year. And Hugh Freeze decided to trash him on the way out of town. And
like that tells you everything you need to know right there, that all the players are on Damari's side. Because if this was a Damari thing, trying to turn the locker room on, Hugh Freeze, then I feel like more players wouldn't have posted things they did on social media and be so, even former players were coming out and saying stuff and be so like defensive of him on social media and be so vocal about it. Like he's lost this locker room clearly.
I can't tell if I feel better or like more angry after all this, but it certainly had a lot to get off my chest.
I feel like I have a weight off me now. Like, I guess it helps that like we play Missouri this Saturday, and it's probably going to be his last game, honestly. So like, at least we have that, Like
I'm just glad I don't have to watch it.
Well, I'll be there, so I'll be your eyes for you for that one.
Yeah,
but I know we've been going for about an hour 30 now, so why don't we just touch on a few of these games real quick, and then we can, get this pod wrapped up in the next, 20, 30 minutes. Is that good with y'all?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do
rapid style.
Apologies to everybody for.
Yeah, that's on me, Travis. That's on us. But the first one I'll start with, I'm going to go Baylor at TCU. TCU is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 65.5. Jeffrey, I'm going to let you start with this one. This is your team.
This is a huge game. Both
for the
teams are
Bears
still in title contention. Obviously, Tech's going to go 12-0. So it's kind of the remainder of the Big 12 is fighting for that second spot in Arlington. It's going to be a really good quarterback matchup. Josh Hoover can sling the rock. Sawyer can sling the rock. This is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be very similar.
You did tell me Friday that Josh Hoover sucks.
He does suck, but he also has Eric McAllister, who can turn a simple screen pass into a 90-yard gain.
Okay.
So,
and you will be at Ammon G. Carter Stadium.
I will be at Ammon G. Carter, it's my fourth stadium of the year. So, yeah, I think Bears win this in a close one. Obviously, I'm biased, so keep that in mind. But I like Bears 41-38.
All right, let me write that down. I'm keeping track this week to see how we do next week to go over it and see who does best. You said 41-38?
Yep.
Juve, a question. When we did picks before the season, you had this as Baylor's only loss, and now you've changed your mind. What has changed your mind?
That Kansas State performance. I mean, Kansas State, pretty down and out on the season. Transitive property, we beat them. We controlled Avery Johnson. They didn't. Avery Johnson looked like a really good quarterback, which he isn't, against TCU's defense. It was just unimpressive. So,
and
really
what would you say to those who would respond with, well, they shut down the greatest dual threat quarterback of all time in Kevin Jennings?
Kevin Jennings had a great game. His defense let up. Kevin Jennings was extending those plays like an extra 10 seconds by scrambling around.
Interesting.
Oh man, that's awesome.
All right, who wants to go next on that one?
I guess I'll go. I'm gonna take Baylor 45, TCU 42. I think this is gonna be one of those electric games. It usually is. Just like I think it's gonna be must watch Big 12 matchup.
So you said 45-42.
Yeah,
What's
40.
the over under here?
The
I think it's
over-under is
66 and a
65
half.
and a half or 66.
No.
So it's a high total, but I'd probably still take the over.
Yeah, that's an over. That's kind of low.
Well, Matt,
I'm gonna go with Baylor. Also, have not been particularly impressed with the TCU defense, and obviously the Baylor defense has been awful the whole season. So, yeah, I'm gonna. This is I don't think have we had consecutive winners in this rivalry in the last 10 years here.
It went TCU won it twice in a row, and then we won it last year.
Yeah. So this would be a big one by Baylor standards. So I'm going to say the Bears win, and I'm going to say the Bears win. I'm going to say 38-31. We're going to say close one there, but we're going to say that Baylor is the ball last and finds a way to win.
I will say this. I'll add this too. The past 2 out of 3 of these meetings has been determined by a field goal, a walk-off field goal. So I think that's why. I think it's going to come down to the same thing.
all right. Travis.
Well, as alluded to, with how the fuck is Missouri only a 1.5 point favorite? I just saw that on the TV. I was, what? Like, okay.
Please hammer
Anyway,
Missouri.
yeah. But yeah, I'm like neither defense is particularly impressive. I think we've probably seen a little bit more out of the TCU defense than we have the Baylor defense. So in a vacuum, I know that's a very simple way to break down this thing, but I think I trust the TCU defense a little bit more to get like a singular stop than I do the Baylor defense. So for that reason, I'll go TCU 34, Baylor 30.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'll add before you give
You
your
go ahead.
thing, Will. I mean,
got
this is my Super Bowl of the year. Obviously, it's our rival. We're coming off a bye too, and injuries and being banged up have really slowed down our team, especially on defense. And also, I mean, TCU's out their whole O-line, so I think our defense, with that being said, could.
I'm sorry. Can you clarify? They're out all 5 offensive line starters.
Well, like I think they're out 4 of their 5 starters that they started the season with on their first game. I have to double check. They do still have offensive linemen, but I think given that and our defense getting time to rest, I think we could get a sack or 2. And when we both played ASU and lost by 3, it was the exact same thing. But in that game, when we played ASU, it's back and forth the whole game. When they played ASU, they go up 17-0, and their defense implodes, and they let up, I believe, like 20 in a row or something. And so I think if Baylor can kind of get one of those momentum things where it's like, even if we go down, if we can just get 3 possessions strung together, we're right back in it because TCU's defense is really one-sided. And K-State did the same thing. This TCU defense takes time to like recover from goofing up.
By the way, Juve, real quick, do I get any credit for knowing more ball about your league than you do? Because I all summer was told that I was an idiot for picking Texas Tech to win the league by you, and it's looking pretty good.
You're Joey McGuire and having as much money as he wants thanks to those Tech boosters.
The oil.
So we just acknowledge that I'm actually
they're
the
going
Big 12
13-0.
We just
The Big
acknowledge
12
that I'm the Big 12 expert here, not you.
I mean, I don't know if, since you called Matt Campbell a winner, I think that knocks some points down.
Oh my gosh.
Basketball season is coming soon, so be ready. Juice already pumping out hot basketball takes here.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
St.
Lord.
John's is overrated.
Now, Trav, what was your prediction for this one?
34-31 TCU.
All right. Let me give mine. Yeah, I mean, y'all touched on it. Y'all said everything that needed to be said. You know, Josh Hoover versus Sawyer Robertson. That's probably the headline of this game. And, you know, both these defense struggles in different ways, I feel like. But I think this one being at TCU, when I view these teams so similarly, leans into TCU for me. I don't think either team's able to stop each other. I think it's going to be who has the ball last. I think this ends up being in TCU's favor. And I do think TCU wins, like in a classic, an all-time game, 45-41. I think it's a close one. I think Baylor takes the L. Sorry, Juve. I know it's your Super Bowl,
All
but
good.
I had to do it. So, all right, the next one
I agree with this. Jeff Hart does not know
Bro,
ball.
that's my roommate.
He was the guy last week who said like the same thing or something like that. By the time Juve left,
I'm the Big 12 expert of the group now. I've cocked Juve
Not
out
to
of
call
being
Matt
the big.
Campbell a winner.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, but who beat the Texas Tech? Who beat the Texas Tech drum and had to hear you talk shit all summer?
They haven't won it yet. They are going to go 12-0 in the regular season. So
Y'all's podcast would be better without the bomb in the top middle.
Just as he was, pulling for Baylor.
all right, so let's
Ohio
see.
State's defense is pretty good.
That Caleb Downs guy, pretty all right.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's not too bad at all, no. All right, the next one I really wanted to get touch on, probably the game of the week in my opinion. Number 11 Tennessee at number 6 Alabama. Alabama is an 8.5-point favorite. The over/under is 58.5. Travis, as our new Big 12 and SEC guy, I want you to start this one off.
I think it's too many points for Tennessee to be catching here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely sold on anything I've seen from the Alabama defense so far this year. I mean, we know Tennessee can light up the scoreboard. So, but yeah, like Tennessee's defense is obviously a liability, and that'll probably be what cost them the game here. But like, I don't see any reason going into this one that Tennessee isn't going to be able to go shot for shot with Alabama. So yeah, I think that 8.5 is crazy. I was surprised to see that many points, but yeah, like we said, I think Alabama being at home, being better on the defense, like they should be able to win this one, but 8.5 too many. So I'll go with give me Alabama 30, Alabama 31, Tennessee 28.
Jacob, I'll let you do this one next.
I guess I'll go. Tennessee hasn't been impressive the past couple weeks. They've had some, close wins, and you had the close loss to Georgia. So I think Alabama's started to win the games they should. They've been rolling so far.
Rolling.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Won by 3 points at Mizzou. Mizzou had a drive to win the game. Rolling. We're losing in the fourth quarter to Vanderbilt. Rolling.
This is take it out to the woodshed type of moment here.
That's never going to die, is it?
And I guess let's go Alabama 38, Tennessee 28.
Juve, what you got?
Bama seems to like to float around the 24 to 30 points. In terms of that, they're definitely winning this. So I think simply just based on Ty Simpson and Kalen DeBoer refusing to score more than 30 points, I think I'll take Bama 30, Tennessee 21.
Matt?
Yeah, there has not been much impressive about Tennessee since that Georgia game. Mississippi State probably should have beat them. Arkansas, they've just hung around with teams that they should not have been hanging around with. I do think Tennessee matches up really well with Bama, actually. I think they can score on them. And, if they can run the ball effectively on Bama, then that actually could be a game Tennessee. I do think it'll be pretty close. But at the end of the day, I do think, Bama being at home, the way Ty Simpson's playing, I do think this is a game that Bama's probably going to win. So I will probably say Bama wins this one 34-31.
All right. But yeah, to to give my opinion score prediction now. Ty Simpson has been playing as like one of the best quarterbacks in college football, and that hurts me to say, but he's been lighting it up. And sure, they haven't been rolling like Jacob said, but they've been finding ways to win, and a lot of that's been behind Ty Simpson's arm. Like, he has that offense rolling. Like, Ryan Williams isn't 100%, but Jeremy Bernard's been really good for them this year as their leading wide receiver. And like y'all said, Tennessee does match up with them well, so I do expect points here. I don't trust Alabama's defense that much. I just don't. But I think in this spot, I'm going to take Alabama 34-28. I still think Tennessee covers that 8.5 number. I think that's too many points personally, but I love the over in this one. I think there'll be a lot of points, explosive. Third Saturday in October, one of the best rivalries in college football, an underrated one that no one talks about. And yeah, I think Bama unfortunately will be lighting the cigars after this one.
Joe Tessitore was having a lot of fun with Jam Miller on Saturday. He was saying that every time. Jam!
Yeah.
Tess loved that. Loved Jam Miller.
Jam Miller. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Next one I wanted to cover. There is a lot of good games this week. It's probably my second. What's up?
Can we mention just ESPN decision makers? Like, we're sticking Greg McElroy on the Tennessee-Alabama game.
Yeah.
Hey, who's RG3 on this weekend? Some
Probably
electric
no one after what he said last week. Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, what did he say?
Get that brother some milk.
Well,
Put it that
yeah,
way.
except he didn't say brother. He said a word beginning with N. Yeah.
What?
After the Texas Tech running back like basketball dribbles a Kansas defender.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, did I hear that correctly?
I'm just gonna be like, you think Greg McElroy is gonna like in the fourth quarter? He's gonna like turn his mic off and do like, "Fuck Auburn and LSU, Tennessee too."
too. That's him. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know McElroy was doing the Bama Tennessee game. Yeah, that's a good decision.
They love to stick McElroy on like Bama rivalry games. Like he did the Iron Bowl last year. Like he's probably thinking about getting his face slammed into the turf in 2010 the whole game. Like,
it's so dumb. But all right, next one I want to talk about. Number 5, Ole Miss. At number 9, Georgia. Ole Miss coming off a close game against Washington State. Georgia obviously handling Auburn in the second half. Really wasn't even that competitive in the second half. The score was closer than it probably should have been. But Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite at home. The over-under is 54.5. And I'll start with this one. I think Georgia in this spot has a really good chance to put up some points again. And their offense has been up and down. So is Gunnar Stockton. But I think they have a chance to get right here. I really do. And I think Georgia probably wins this one 31-27. So who wants to go next on this one?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Georgia, they win this one in a close one. I'll take Georgia 30, Ole Miss 28.
Okay.
I think Ole Miss is catching way too many points here because I think last week was as simple as they just got caught in the look ahead spot.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, obviously they struggle with Wazoo, but I don't think that was like really indicative of what kind of team Ole Miss is. And I mean, just nothing about this Georgia team is like super impressive. It's like I don't think there's many teams in the SEC that they should be a 7.5-point favorite against, especially with Ole Miss being one of the best teams in the league. And like, I think there's holes in this Georgia team that obviously Auburn's too stupid to expose for at least the second half of the game. But like a team with real coaching, like Ole Miss, will be able to take advantage of. And like this defense can really be had. Like they don't rush the passer great. So if like Trinidad Chambliss can have time and like make some plays downfield, like I really think Ole Miss has a good shot here. Like there's just no way to be impressed on what you've seen from Georgia so far. Yeah, I mean, I like Ole Miss here. I'm gonna pick the upset. I'm gonna go 27 20 or I'll go 24-21. Ole Miss wins here. The home winning streak already ended, so that'll be 2 in a row at home.
All right. And Juve had Georgia 30-28. And then Travis thinks the Ole Miss pulls off the upset 24-21. All right, Matt, what you got?
So this line opened at Georgia 10.5, which
That is
kind of
insane.
crazy. Yeah.
That's way too
So
many points.
I don't know if people just saw what they did against Wazoo and were like, yeah, we're out. I don't really know. But that was a game where last week Auburn really stopped the run. They stopped the Georgia run effectively. Gunnar Stockton didn't do too much. But I don't know if it's just because Georgia's at home, really. But if Ole Miss, shows up to how they kind of looked against LSU, for example, they had the better of that play, and LSU was a really good defensive team, certainly better than Georgia. They didn't really struggle too much in that one. I still think Georgia wins. I think it'll be like really close, but again, as has been mentioned in here, there's nothing particularly like there's not a unit that Georgia really leans on as they have in the past. Zach Branch is a stud,
I
obviously.
mean, the
but
officiating.
yeah,
is a
Yeah.
great unit.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Zach Branch is great, but it's not Brock Bowers. It's not Lab McConkey kind of levels. So I do think that this is a game that Georgia would not win if it were on a neutral field or if it were at Ole Miss. But I do think that I'll take Georgia by a field goal. I'll probably take them 24-21 to win that one.
You know what I noticed about Georgia last week, and like another thing that leads me to pick Ole Miss is like Kirby is like it does not seem like the same. We're like if Georgia wins a game like they won last week in past years, like Kirby's not happy after the game, and it's like you go on the road and get a struggle win versus a shit Auburn team assisted by the refs. And Kirby's jumping up on the fucking like medical table, like dancing and fucking screaming like he just won the national championship. Like, and to me, that's a sign that like if that win versus a team that bad meant that much to you, clearly he doesn't believe in this team that much, and the standards have lowered a lot if he celebrates that win against a team that bad in that fashion. So just something to think about. If that means anything to anybody else, I don't know, but it's something I noticed.
I mean, I watch Dave Aranda every Saturday. Any ounce of emotion is a big deal, so I'm kind of right there with you.
It's just like if your standards are high for your football team and you get a struggle win versus a terrible team and you're jumping up on tables, fucking screaming and hollering and like throwing an absolute party, like you just won the biggest game of your life. Does that not say a lot about how much the expectations are lowered for your football team that win is that much worth celebrating to you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's certainly a good point, something to think about. But yeah, Jacob, what do you got for this one?
I think Georgia. I think Ole Miss is slightly overrated. They'll put up some points in this game. I think Georgia. It's a close game till the end, and then Georgia puts up a couple scores. I'm going to go Georgia 31, Ole Miss 21.
All right, we got that one. The next one I wanted to talk about, a rivalry game in this spot. Number 20 USC at number 13 Notre Dame. Notre Dame opens at an 8.5-point favorite. The over/under is 61.5. And I'll just start by saying with this one, similar to the Ole Miss Georgia game and a similar spread, Notre Dame being an 8.5-point favorite feels like way too many points in this spot. Am I off base on that, or like are y'all agreeing with that?
I think they can do it.
I think Notre Dame's offense
I think it's fair.
good. Yeah. I think USC's more of a flawed team than Notre Dame.
Sure, but like I feel like USC at least has the offense to keep up and keep
Mhm.
this game relatively close and cover that spread.
I think the issue is that these are not games, these are not teams that Lincoln Riley coached teams beat usually ever.
Yeah.
Just that really physical, their identity is laden in their physicality. Notre Dame has been playing really, really good in their secondary recently. And, that was the best USC has looked under Lincoln Riley against Michigan, maybe ever. So if they put together back to back really strong games here, that would be extremely impressive on their end. Also, there's the urgency factor for Notre Dame that they can't really afford to drop another game this year. But I think that line is probably fair. It's kind of one of those things like until you see Lincoln Riley coach USC team farewell against this kind of opposition, I think that line makes sense, just for me personally.
Yeah, I get that point where like you definitely have seen in the past these physical teams that want to, establish the run and dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides have given his teams fit when even when he was back to Oklahoma in those days. So yeah, you definitely have a valid point there, Matt. But like this is a rivalry spot. And USC did look really good against Michigan. Like they were a 2.5 point favorite in that game and they handled business. Like it was never like at least I feel like it was never really in doubt that USC was probably going to win that game. So I feel like in this spot, like I feel like Notre Dame wins for sure. Marcus Freeman's the better coach in this spot. They have the better coaching staff in this spot too. But I do think Notre Dame wins at home. But I do think USC will cover the spread currently at 8.5. I think this one's going to be Notre Dame. I'm gonna say 37. I'm gonna say USC 31. I think USC covers this spread, but Notre Dame wins. Who wants next?
I guess
I was
so.
just gonna. Oh.
You got Travis.
I was just gonna say, like, I was very impressed, and what gives me hope for USC in this game, is I was really impressed in USC's ability to what's always been the knock on USC and the question people had when they went to the Big Ten was like, are they gonna have the physicality to like get in the trenches versus these like really tough physical teams and take it to a team like that. And I was very impressed by their ability to take it to Michigan last week. Like that was a game I was very high on Michigan going in. Like I bet Michigan going in. Like I thought Michigan was going to take care of business and just be like the more physical team there and control that game. And I was really impressed how USC was just able to take it to them. And it's like that's like showing that level of physicality and making that statement is going to be like that's a big statement going on the road to in South Bend to play Notre Dame. And now it's like the question is, can they replicate that 2 weeks in a row? And that's where I don't know. I lean Notre Dame here. I agree. I think it's probably too many points, but I lean Notre Dame here because then having to take that on a road versus on the road versus doing that at home is a different mentality. But it was really impressive and kind of changed my outlook on USC. The fact that like they were able to like play a super physical team like Michigan and really take it to them. But I think I think going on the road here, they'll probably run out of gas. I think Notre Dame's a better team, but I think it'll be close. I'll go a 27-21 Notre Dame win here, but I think USC is yeah, I was really impressed. Like I was very wrong about that USC Michigan game last week, and my outlook on USC's definitely changed a lot. Whether they take a loss this weekend or not, they should be firmly in the playoff mix come the end of November.
Juve, what you got?
I think Marcus Freeman's got a good spot here. I think also I don't know why Penn State fans think they can get him. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter today. But yeah, I think USC is pretty fraudulent, but that win against Michigan did say a lot. So, but I do still think Notre Dame wins. They looked good. They've played a much harder schedule. So I like Notre Dame 38, USC 28.
All right, Jacob.
I think Notre Dame has the clear advantage in this one, but I do think USC keeps up offensively. So I'm going to have them beating the spread just barely. I'm going to have Notre Dame 45, USC 38.
Matt.
I'm gonna take. I'll take Notre Dame 42-31.
All right. Any final thoughts on that game before we move to the next one?
Is Marcus Freeman and Lincoln Riley? That's quite the riz off between those two coaches.
Good point.
Like they're both going to be trying to see who can get their picture hung up in Hollister and outdo each other during that game.
Who flirts with Molly McGrath harder?
yeah, they're. It's going to be a. Is this an NBC or is this an ESPN?
Let me look.
Or a Fox? I guess it wouldn't be ESPN. It'd either be Fox or.
It's at Notre Dame, so NBC.
Oh, so it'd be an NBC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the NBC? Is it the same girl that does NFL? The sideline. What's her name? The Sunday Night Football sideline girl.
I'm not sure.
Matt, I know you know.
NBC. It's not Maria Taylor to studio.
Who does the sideline for Sunday Night Football?
Nah,
It's not Lauren Shahadi, is it?
No. Hold on.
Oh,
I don't know who is Sunday night. Gosh, I used to be very. It's not.
Not Tracy Wolfson, your babe.
No,
Melissa Stark.
definitely not.
I was
Tracy
about to say
Wolfson.
Melissa Stark.
Michelle Tafoya used to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was quite the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent way too much time thinking about that to get that thought. But yeah, I was just making a funny joke. They're both guys who are very worried about their look and presentation. So yeah, quite the matchup of guys trying to, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know. The joke's not landing, but
It's all right. It was good the first time. That's all that matters. It hit the first time.
fuck it.
All right. Next one I wanted to talk about. Number 10, LSU at number 17, Vandy. Vandy opens as a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. I'll start with this one. Until I see anything different, until I lose a bet, I'm going to keep taking LSU unders. That LSU defense is playing lights out, one of the best units in college football defensively, and Garrett Nussmeier is just not 100%. And until he is, I'm going to keep taking LSU unders. Like they've hit past 3 straight games, and I've won every single one of them. So I'm not gonna get off those yet. I'm gonna take the under in this one. I do think Vandy wins this one in Nashville. I think Vandy wins at a score of 23-14. I think Vandy covers that spread pretty easily at home. Travis, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I like Vandy here too. Yeah, there's just I don't know. It's off with LSU. We talked about it last week, man. Like they can't run the ball. Like Nuss is hurt, and I don't know. Like Vandy's good, and until I see more from that LSU offense, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's is LSU capable of scoring more than 20 points?
I don't think so.
And if they do, they're just gonna have to go on the road and drag Vandy into the mud to win this game. And it's from what we've seen from Vandy, like they can go up and down the field and score with anybody. So it's I don't know. LSU is going to have to take a big step up. Nuss is either going to have to get healthy or going to put a backup in. They're going to magically have to figure out how to run the ball. But yeah, I just think Vanderbilt's the better team out of these two right now.
Yeah.
What'd you say the spread was?
It's a Vandy 2.5.
Okay, so yeah, the right team's favored here, surprisingly. But yeah, I'll go with Vanderbilt here, 24-17. Yeah,
We set a similar score, so we're in agreement. All right, Juf, what you got?
I'll take Vandy 21-20. I like Diego Pavia, Eli Stowers, good duo right there. I think they can but some points up. But yeah, LSU's got a good D. Offense has been very underwhelming.
Is
So,
Brian
yeah.
Kelly a candidate for Penn State?
He might be if he loses in this game.
Yeah. I didn't think about him, honestly.
Sorry to
Is
cut you
Florida
off,
lead
dude, but it just
candidate?
made me. I saw some people floating his name out. That's why they said it would be a funny way for him to reset his clock on the hot seat again.
Yeah.
But so, all right, you got 21-20. So Vandy wins, but does not cover that spread. Jacob, what do you got?
I think I'm going to go Vanderbilt 28, LSU 21. Or actually, LSU 17.
So
Man,
21-17.
We all picked Vanderbilt. If LSU wins this game, Matt's gonna have a field day next week.
Yeah, Matt, this is your team. Your time to shine.
I will proudly say LSU will beat Vanderbilt. I do think that if you watch it's not a game in the league, it's very fun.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's not good. I do think
Yeah, your
there are some
connection's not good.
offensive issues. Yeah, clearly. No, there are some serious offensive issues that they've got to figure out. But I do think defensively they're strong enough to win this one, just because I think Pavi is a little bit turnover prone, and I think that plays right into the LSU defense's hands. He did not play well at Bama. I know everyone's kind of high on Pavia, but like he did not have a great Bama game. He had a couple pretty bad turnovers.
He's playing at Bryant Denny. Give him some slack.
Well, I was just watching, because I was at the race last weekend when that game was on, and I was in the barber shop earlier, and they had the highlights of that Vandy Alabama game on. And it's like 2 weeks later, I was watching it, and it's like Vandy had a real shot to win that game. Like they were going down the field to take the lead in the fourth quarter, and Pavia threw a terrible pick.
Yeah, the fumble and the pick cost Vanderbilt any shot at that game.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I don't know. I don't consider Vanderbilt still a big home field advantage. I still think that stadium will be half LSU fans, and I mean the offensive struggles might catch up to LSU, but I don't think they will against Vanderbilt. I just think that they are too good on defense to get beat by a team with really not that many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, I'll take LSU to win that one, 21-13, we'll say.
So the under hits though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matt's gonna, if LSU wins, like we all picked Vandy, Matt's gonna come on here next week. Vandy, huh? Vandy.
I will
You down
come
the
in
Tigers.
I will join the show like a fine bomb caller or something. Yeah.
Brian Kelly's gonna order another cherry picker after the game to celebrate. Have you guys seen that account?
Yeah.
Where it's just like they put, it's like some joke about like a cherry picker and Brian Kelly every day, and they just put hashtag BK. It's BKKAK. Like they put,
I've not seen that.
College football Twitter is
in the group
insane.
chat.
Hashtag BKKAK.
Send it in the group chat after this, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I'll send it to you guys.
But all right, we got a speed run through these. I know it's getting late for y'all, or for me too, honestly. All right, number 23 Utah. Wait, I got it right. Number 23 Utah. Number 15 BYU. BYU is a
the Holy War. I love this game.
Holy War's back.
The Holy War. We could not
love
talk
this
about
game.
it. BYU 3.5 point favorite. Over under is 49.5. And Travis, you want to start with this one? The Holy War. You seemed excited.
Dude, I love this rivalry. Like I watch it every time they play in basketball or football. Like I guess I probably won't be able to watch because it'll mean time. But this is like one of my favorite rivalries in college athletics. Like I just love it. Like it's like people are passionate in Utah, man. Like Utah's awesome, by the way. If you guys have never been to Utah, I just love the state of Utah. Like, the people are nice. Like, they support the shit out of those schools. Like, I'm just a big fan of the entire state. I think it's an awesome rivalry. So yeah, should be fun. You said this is at BYU.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless of where it's at, like I think BYU is a little better than Utah right now. Utah got smacked around pretty good last time out. Who'd they play that I'm thinking of? Like I'm blanking
They've
on.
only lost to
remember.
Texas Tech.
They only lost
Yeah.
to Tech.
Yeah, that's right.
They blew out Arizona State.
Yeah,
last
they
week.
crushed ASU.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about
Without
the
Sam Levitt.
I was thinking about the Texas Tech game. Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I don't know. I think BYU's been really good. I know they've had kind of a cupcake schedule so far, but man, it's, even with losing Retzlaff before the year, man, like they got a solid program there. So two real solid programs, to be honest. I know this is probably not the most in-depth analysis of this game I'm giving. Like I can't like scout these two teams and break it down. But yeah, I like BYU here. It'll be a fun game probably, and I'll go like a 2017 BYU on a game-winning field goal.
All right.
The basketball game was insane last year. It was like 2 overtimes. Like I remember I had Utah +1 in that game. I was sweating that one out.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback matchup between Devin Dampier, a very veteran guy, and Bear Bachmeier, a true freshman who looks like a punter that put on 30 pounds and plays quarterback. I think BYU has had a cupcake of a schedule. They did not deserve that win last week against Arizona. They kind of got the refs to give it to them. So I think Utah rolls into Provo. I think they win probably pretty handily, at least by 10. I love the Utes here. I'm a big fan of that Morgan Scalley defense. So give me Utah 35, BYU 23.
Also, I should add, I misread the spread. Utah is actually a 3-point favorite, so BYU's catching 3 at home, Travis. So that even plays into the
I love that. I want to be all over that.
So you picked BYU to win outright, and they're a 3-point dog at home. So that's good for you, and that's good for your pick. But I'll go to Matt with this one next. Matt, what you got?
I will take Utah. I'll take Utah by a touchdown. I think Devin Dampier is starting to find a stride. That was their best game of the season last week. No look ahead, no anything. They seem very locked in. I will take Utah 31-24.
Jacob, what you got?
I think I'm going to go BYU at home, 31-28 over the Utes. I think Baron Bachmeier has a good game. I trust him more than Devin Dampier at this point. Dampier's good, but I just don't trust his downfield passing ability. If it becomes a shootout, so that's my score prediction: 31-28.
All
BYU.
right. Yeah, I mean, obviously Utah 5-1 coming into this one, BYU 6-0, but I think BYU is more of a paper tiger than the 6-0. I mean, they haven't really played anybody that elite up to this date yet. This is their first real test, in my opinion. And I think Utah wins this one outright. Obviously, it's a 3-point favorite on the road in the Holy War. I'm going to take Utah in this one. I'm going to go 31-23. I think Utah takes care of business, and they win this one outright. So,
how is this not like a last game of the season rivalry?
yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that earlier, honestly. That's
They
a
get
good
up with the
question.
Big 12.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
ask.
Choof, answer for your league. Like,
Why is the rivalry played week 8? I don't know.
Well, Travis, don't you mean your league?
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I'm the Big 12 guy, and I'm disgraced that my league, that I'm an expert of, the Big 12, would not put one of the best rivalries in the country during rivalry week. What are we doing?
Figure it out.
I
But
feel like the Big 12 really doesn't put a lot of their rivalries during rivalry week.
Is Mark Jones on this game? Do we know?
Oh my God! No, who's Colorado playing? Mark Jones is on that. Mark Jones is just Colorado's personal. Like, dude, I feel like every week it's like it'll be fucking 11 o'clock at night. There's Mark Jones on the Colorado game. Like, it never fails. Yeah, Mark Jones on the Holy War. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They should put RG3 on it.
I don't think he's going to be
RG3
on
and
this
Mark
week.
Jones.
Just a hunch.
Yeah, RG3 and Mark Jones on BYU Utah.
Just a gut feeling he's not going to be on this week.
And
But
Gus Johnson.
but I wanted to touch
It's
on this
the
thing.
Mormons versus the Mormons.
It's time to bear down Bear Bachmeyer. Number 47 can really spin it, Joel.
That's a touchdown that would even make Joseph Smith proud. He's smiling watching these teams. A great duel of some great Mormons.
Oh my gosh. But anyone else have any final thoughts on this game?
Love this rivalry. I like a great rivalry. One of the more underrated ones.
It
I'm
is
glad
a
it now counts for a conference game too.
Yeah.
True. But
I mean, this is also, Travis, in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty big one for Arlington right here. I mean, BYU is about to enter the gauntlet of they played the 6 easiest games possible before they play the 6 hardest. So they don't win this. I think their season's done because they're not beating Tech, and then they're at 2 losses, which in the Big 12 isn't good enough to make Arlington. So
They're gonna win this. We're on the Cougs.
he's
Immunity.
Immunity. All
Brandon
right.
Davies should have claimed immunity.
Okay. We're not getting on that subject. Anyway, all right. Number 14, Oklahoma at South Carolina. Oklahoma is a 5.5-point favorite. The over-under is 43.5. Oklahoma coming off the loss against Texas. South Carolina coming off the loss against LSU. Both these teams need it in this spot. Juve, you start us for this one. Oklahoma at South Carolina.
Beamer ball's looking rough. Also, I'm not that in depth with SEC like y'all. Is Beamer gonna return to Virginia Tech now that job's open? Is he even entertaining that, or?
I mean, he might get fired at this rate. So,
Yeah.
I'd say he's firmly on the hot seat.
Interesting. Yeah, Brent Venables is a grade A mindless person, acting like the Big 12 is the easiest conference.
Oh my God! Yeah,
He
how
got
we not mention
rolled by
that tweet was
multiple
insane.
I don't know what world he was talking about because the Oklahoma team that used to dominate the Big 12 was not his Oklahoma.
Was that the first time we've ever seen an official conference or league or a page talk shit?
I loved it. I scrolled across that and I was like, dude, they dunked on him so bad.
I love how they called him Coach Venables too. Coach Venables lost 8 games during his tenure in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think he was only in it for 2 seasons. Oklahoma wasn't impressive in either season. But it's I don't know if y'all saw, but every team and every fan base was just posting all of their scores and wins against Oklahoma. They're out. It's been pretty awesome. The entire conference ganging up on him. But yeah, I think Oklahoma's played poorly. It was a boring game to watch. The Red River. So I think Beamer can get a win here. They desperately need one. So I'll take South Carolina in a close one. Give me 28-24.
Okay. Trav?
Based off last week, man, it's I think it's clear. Mateer came back way too soon, and I don't know if they're going to trot him out there again in this one. They probably shouldn't because, South Carolina's got, a good defensive front. So, if Mateer's out there, banged up again and looks like he looked last week, like South Carolina's going to get after him and going to keep this thing close. But I guess as far as we know, they're like Mateer's playing again, right?
Yes, from everything I've seen, yes.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, based off how he looked last week, I don't know. This is going to be an ugly game. It's at South Carolina. Yeah, I'll go with it. It is Cocktober, so I'll go with South Carolina too. South Carolina, an ugly one. Give me 17-14. They represent for Cocktober.
Matt?
Yeah, I would expect this one to be uncomfortably low scoring. Neither of these teams can really move the ball. The current versions, at least, with Mateer and how he played, Oklahoma still cannot run the ball. It wasn't really the throws that affected Mateer. It was just the constantly getting hit on that hand and whenever you go down on the ground. But I do think there's going to be significantly more urgency on the side of Oklahoma, and I just think they're probably going to be a little more dynamic than South Carolina, more creative on offense. So I'll take Oklahoma 20-13.
I always play with quarters when I'm sitting here doing this shit. We got an Oklahoma quarter right there.
That feels like a sign.
Yeah.
Jacob?
I think with John Mateer's health status still up in the air, I think I'm going to go South Carolina at home. Obviously, it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. South Carolina hasn't impressed this year. You know, Lindor Sellers has been banged up too. I think it's going to be 24-21 South Carolina over Oklahoma.
By the way, I think Juice's theory about Heisman's being won in September. Another L for that one because, yeah, John Mateer will be nowhere close to New York now, and everybody was handing him the Heisman a month ago.
Yeah.
I think Fernando Mendoza's got it pretty locked up right now.
I mean, he's on the leaderboard, but, like, we were saying the
Sawyer
same
Robertson, second half of the season. Let's not forget.
As we know, Heisman's are won in October, actually.
As they say. See, y'all made me like Travis. Actually, you played this like at first. I was on Oklahoma. Then you mentioned it was Cocktober, and I was like, man, I can't fade the Gamecocks in Cocktober. But then you had the quarter with Oklahoma on it, so now I'm back on Oklahoma. Like I've gone back and forth 4 times now because of the signs, like Jersey Jerry, the signs. Like so now I'm back on Oklahoma in this one. I do think they respond after the loss of Texas here. John Mateer's health does concern me a little bit. But I think even in this spot with Michael Hawkins, they still have to do enough to win the game. I think Oklahoma is the better team in this spot. South Carolina struggled immensely this year. I'm going to go Oklahoma 21-13, and in a lower scoring game, kind of similar to what excuse me, what Matt predicted 2013. I think the under hits in this one. I think it's a low scoring, gross game, one that you really don't have to watch necessarily, but could be a close one, but I think Oklahoma squeaks out a win, 21-13, maybe with like a last-second touchdown to really put things to bed. But
this quarter's got 2008 on it, too. This is the Sam Bradford Heisman quarter.
I'm back on Oklahoma, and I'm back on John Mateer. I'm putting a Heisman bet when we get off the phone. When we get off of this, actually. Don't care he's missed 2 games and looked terrible last week. I don't care. But, all right, next one. And the last one of the night, number 14, Texas A&M at Arkansas. Texas A&M is a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under is 61.5, which I thought was a lot of points for this game. But, Travis, I'll let you start with this one.
I guess the Aggies think they're just going to ride on into town on their motorcycles and take down Bobby Petrino. No, sir. Yeah, I'm on the Hogs in this one. I think we get an upset. Whether we think Petrino has a legit shot to get this job or not, probably not. But in old Bob Petrino's head, he's auditioning for this job. So, he is going to throw. I mean, we saw it last week. I think we'll see it again this week at home. He is going to throw everything at the wall that he has to get a signature win to get that Arkansas job back that he never wanted to lose anyway. and we know how that ended. And what a story! If Bobby Petrino like gets this job again, like how poetic would that be?
It would be the college football equivalent to Trump being president again.
Yeah, like Bob Petrino's redemption story. Nah, like, but I'm serious. Like, I think Petrino is like, I know he's taking this shit serious because like he views this as his audition to hopefully get the Arkansas job not back. If not, like get another quality head coaching job. And yeah, they almost pulled it off in Knoxville last week, and this week at home, like A&M has not been super impressive the last couple weeks. I think Florida really just ran out of gas against them, and Auburn obviously couldn't move the ball and still had a chance to win that game. But yeah, I like the Hogs here. I'll go Arkansas 34, Texas A&M 31.
Joof, what you got?
Have y'all, real quick side note, have y'all seen the Texas A&M like campus police Twitter?
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that
Great.
the jug of whiskey.
Like, got caught eating a sandwich with a bottle of whiskey. Beat the hell out of Florida.
And, like when they were playing
0.337.
Auburn, there was a guy like subject was given chance to unlock his phone, couldn't get it
Oh, yeah.
unlocked, ejected.
About
yeah.
arrested, beat the hell out of Auburn.
The one guy called another guy to be his sober driver. The other guy was drunk.
Great
Beat the hell out
account.
of Florida. You
That
can't
was a
forget
great.
that.
Yeah,
Beat the hell out of Florida.
yeah, great call. That is a fantastic account.
But in all seriousness, I'll take A&M by 10 here. I think they win 31-21.
You think they're just gonna ride on in on their Harleys
Yeah, I don't know if
and
they're
take
enough
down Bobby
messages in-
Petrino?
I don't think there are
You
enough messages up there in Fayetteville for Bobby now. So
You said A&M 31-20,
21, yeah,
I think if
21-20.
31-21.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Bobby, if Arkansas wins this game, they should have the hog, the mascot, like drive a motorcycle like the Oregon mascot and have Petrino on the back, like ride around the stadium with them.
That would be hilarious, no doubt. Matt, what you got?
I am in a very similar boat to Travis with the underestimating of the Hogs needs to be curtailed. But I'm going to say A&M wins a really close game. I do think that I don't know how many of you saw Arkansas last week, but they actually looked pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to say A&M wins a really close game. I'm going to say A&M wins, let's say 35-31. They win a really close one.
I'm a big Bobby Petrino fan, just for what it's worth. Like, obviously, like
He
the
was
motorcycle
great.
stuff. Like,
He was,
those
like,
teams were fucking
yes.
electric. Like
They
Darren
were
McFadden,
great.
like,
Well,
and
he
then
wasn't there for those teams, but like because he was at Louisville still.
that's right.
when
That
those
was still
guys were
what
there.
was it? Who was it? Who
That
was it
like
then? Was
Houston
that
Nutt was the coach.
Yeah.
And then Petrino was at Louisville with like Brian Brom and Michael Bush, and then he
Lamar
got the
Jackson?
Arkansas job. Yeah, and
Like-
it was on. Yeah, they were great when he was the coach, and then it kind of like unraveled a bit there, obviously. But his teams were really good. So interested to see what they do this week. But yeah, I do think they'll keep it close, actually.
Jacob?
I think the over will hit in this game. I don't think Arkansas wins, but I think Arkansas's offense has been pretty good throughout the year. It's their defense that's been their issue and why Sam Pittman was fired, as you saw with the Notre Dame game. But yeah, I think it'll be. I think A&M wins 38-31, and the over hits.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the similar boat as all y'all. Like Travis picked Arkansas to win outright, and I definitely think they're capable of it, especially at home. I mean, we saw what they did to Tennessee last week. Giving Tennessee their best shot in Tennessee, but I still think Texas A&M does win this one on the road. I think Texas A&M wins 37-33, and the over does hit in this one. I think it's a really good game, really back and forth there. But I think A&M has the ball last. They're going to be down a touchdown, and they're going to come back and win. And they're going to win 37-33 is my pick. But before we get off, is there any other games or anything I missed y'all want to cover?
I do. I want to point out to everyone that Georgia Tech is a dog to Duke. They are plus 1.5. I do not understand why, but if you are interested in free money, I would definitely recommend taking Georgia Tech.
I'd take Duke. Georgia Tech is like they've been begging to get beat like that. I think Georgia Tech
it'll be Duke.
Georgia Tech is the worst good team in college football. Like they have been begging to get beat. Like
I just don't think it'll be Duke to beat them, but I could be wrong. But I think that Duke's not going to be the team that makes that happen.
This will be Manny Diaz's Penn State audition.
Yeah, that'll have to be.
I was about to say he beats Georgia Tech and gets the Penn State job.
Yeah, that'll have to be.
Then does Duke become the best feeder program for national contending teams with Mike Elko and Manny Diaz?
Yeah.
I think this is at Duke, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in what, Durham? I think is where Duke is.
It's Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Anybody else had anything?
We all, as a podcast, me and Matt especially, because like we owe Kurt Signetti like a resounding apology because we were hammering like the Oregon was going to beat the shit. We were daunted, man. Like,
yeah,
Indiana's legit. Indiana's legit.
They might be legit.
I've been a long Signetti hater. Like, you got to tip your cap, man. Like, I don't have a hat on right now, but I tip like Signetti, man. Like, whew, like we were wrong, man. Like they beat the shit out of Oregon. It's not just that they won that game. Like they fucking dominated that game. Like
I mean, they ended the 18 home game win streak. They ended it.
They went into Eugene and just fucking pushed Oregon around, man. Like I was stunned. Like I cannot believe that happened. Like
we joked about it earlier, like, you know, how Heisman's are won in September and October, but like Fernando Mendoza has to be in the driver's seat, not only for the Heisman, but the #1 overall pick, right?
Oregon scored what, like one offensive touchdown this whole game?
They were 1 of 5 in the red zone, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think they scored twice on offense.
I thought they had like
because they got the 2 field goals, and then the pick six. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like Indiana fucking dominated this game. Like it was like
the score was not indicative of what Indiana did.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
I mean, like, and what's impressive to me is that, like, if you look at these two rosters, just talent composite wise, Oregon has them, you know, it's not even close. Oregon is the much more talented roster of guys who are going to end up playing in the NFL, right? But Kurt Signetti and the Hoosiers just walked in there and was like, came in with a great game plan and just dominated the entire game. Like, I mean, like you alluded to, Travis, you've been a big Indiana and Kurt Signetti, you know, hater, and you've always said, you know, where's his signature win? Where is it? He has it now.
Oh, he got it now. Like, oh boy, was I wrong?
Like he has it now. So, like, is Indiana like a national title contender? Like, I think they
yes, are. I think they are. Like, as crazy as that is to say,
is it going to be Indiana, Texas Tech?
In the Natty?
I would love that. That'd
be great.
I would become the biggest Texas Tech fan of all time.
That would be a all-time
Jacob would be fucking
title.
Guns up.
Mike Lee.
But no, that would be an incredible national title. Like, one can hope. Like, if Auburn's not going to be in it, that's one of the like alternatives I'd be like down for. Like, that'd be a great one.
If they can go into Eugene and just beat the shit out of Oregon the way that, like, they can beat anybody in the country. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I think if you look to date, Miami probably has been the best team, like, resume wise. But like, an eye test is probably Ohio State. But like, Indiana with the wins they have, I think there's a better argument than for Ohio State they should be #1. No.
Yeah, Ohio State really hasn't beaten anybody. Yeah, in the Texas win is kind of has gone.
It's daunted.
Yeah.
Jacob seeing Indiana win a football national championship would be like our version of if Bama won a basketball national championship. Like
Yeah,
that'd just be the absolute hell. Like
That's just nightmare fuel for Jacob.
Yeah, it is.
Are you a little nervous now, Jacob?
If Purdue wasn't so good at basketball, yes.
Like, are you sitting here today? Like, is like a thought in your mind that like Indiana might win a football national championship? Like, has that crossed your mind? Or
I mean, it's crossed my mind, but it hasn't registered.
He hasn't accepted it.
because I mean, I felt the same way. Like the Brandon Miller team at Bama. Like, I was like, we might have to sit through Alabama winning a basketball national championship. Like that's like
Would be tough.
that realization is not fun. So like,
It's a sobering realization.
yeah.
It's a somber one for sure. But anybody
Hey,
got anything else?
before
Especially with how
Can I
bad
say something
Purdue
before we close
football is
out?
right now.
What you got?
Texas Tech is now averaging 2 personal fouls every half for the tortilla throwing, and they still have won every game by 24.
Well, they should keep it going then. It doesn't matter, it looks like.
Hey, can I bring up one more? I know we're wrapping up.
What's up?
I know Stanford's really bad, Matt. You have the Cardinal gear on. Florida State, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but they're going on the road to Stanford, like an 11:30 Eastern kickoff, and they're a 17.5-point favorite.
Stanford sucks, though.
They're bad.
Yeah,
Don't get me
but so
wrong.
does
Now,
Florida
they've
State.
already- They've already shattered expectations for the season by winning a couple games here. So Florida State's going to beat them. Just prepare yourself for that. It might be a slow start for them, but yeah, I would be shocked if this were within 14 points. I mean, 17.5 is relatively generous. They could maybe cover that. But yeah, anything within 14 is relatively unlikely. They have not seen the scheme that Gus Malzahn is gonna throw at them here, and yeah, they're gonna lose. But it's if they were to ever cover against Florida State, I think this would be the best version of them to do that, and because yeah, Florida State hasn't been great, and then Norvell has been really riding the roller coaster after week one. Everyone kind of thought they were back, and now everyone's looking around like
this screams to me
No.
like 2 a.m. like the game's over. Like a lot of people don't even see it because it's so late. And then a lot of people wake up to Mike Norvell fired on Sunday morning, and they're like, "What happened?" And then you look and see Stanford beat Florida State. Like, I think it is on the table of outcomes.
It's not off the table. I'll tell you that. So I know that there are some people I know over at Stanford who believe they have a chance to, quote, make it a close game. And then there are obviously some irrational ones who are like, I don't know, do you see Florida State or Virginia? So.
I'm not even a Stanford fan, and I think that's
it's fair. Florida State's bad.
Yeah.
You're going across the country kicking at 11:30, like body clock time. To in a sleepy spot, you've lost 3 in a row. They've lost their last 8 games in the ACC.
I mean, it's midnight right now, so imagine being Florida State and being told, or imagine we're us 5 for some reason. We're on Florida State's roster. Imagine being told right now, yeah, time to go play against Stanford halfway across the country.
After you've lost 8 ACC games in a row.
That's a tough sell. That's a tough ask for that Florida State team. What's the spread? You said 17?
17.5.
I get Stanford sucks, and I get that's why the spread is so large.
Northwestern sucked too, and we saw what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, but that's way too many points for that with that scenario mixed in of everything. That's way too many points.
I think that might be my favorite bet of Saturday. Just looking at the slate is Stanford.
I didn't even realize they were that big of a dog at home. Yeah, they suck, but so does Florida State. And like you alluded or like you touched on, It's an 11:30 p.m. body time kickoff. Like, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Keep an eye on that one.
yeah, I think we should do a segment next week, or if we can do it another time this week, like upset of the week, and we can each pick like a dog we like at home or on the road or whatever. And like, you've already been kind of more of the upset prone one this week, picking Travis. Like, you picked Arkansas to upset, you picked Ole Miss to upset, So and BYU as well. So you've been more on the upsets this week than the rest of us.
And I'm picking Stanford too. It's going to be a crazy Saturday.
To win outright.
Yeah, I'd fuck it. Stanford wins outright. Mike Norvell gets fired on Sunday.
I'm writing this down right here. I was keeping scores like of our, score predictions. So
Hugh Freeze and Mike Norvell will both be in the unemployment line come Sunday.
All right, FSU
and Luke Bickle. There will be three firings Sunday.
Ohio State may beat Wisconsin by
100,
70 at least.
So, yeah. Write that down, too. Luke Fickell, Hugh Freeze, and Mike Norvell will all be fired Sunday. Bold prediction.
All right, I got Travis. FSU loses to Stanford. Fired. Freeze, Norvell, and Fickell. Buckeyes by 100.
I'm calling my shot.
Hey, I mean, I don't think the firing part's that crazy. Like, I feel like at least two of those guys will be gone. Like, I feel like Freeze will be gone. I think we lose to Missouri. Probably Fickell. He's probably out the door. And then Norvell, if they do lose, probably gone. So, but anything else before we wrap
this up? That'd be
up?
insane. The amount of coaches we've already had fired is crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a crazy, coaching candidate like cycle this offseason.
There's still like 10 more that could be fired. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, we're not even close to this being done. So, but
Brian Kelly,
he could jump to not Notre Dame, could jump to Penn State.
What's his face? Sharon Moore at Michigan.
He's not getting fired.
Him
wearing the fucking the jacket with the name on it was fucking hilarious. Have you guys seen those memes?
Yeah. Send it in the group chat after.
Somebody made one where it was like him in like an army uniform, and they were like, "I showed up wearing an army uniform because I want these guys to know I'm ready to go to war every week."
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh man.
Yeah, all right, he's like Black Tom Crean. Just like giving out all just what are we doing?
Oh,
I don't think he's getting fired though.
No, I don't think so.
I just saw an article talking about it.
I mean, they're going to beat Ohio State again, so that alone will save his job.
Jeez, Ohio State defense pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Caleb Downs, baby. He will be in the NFL.
No way.
Wow.
Get out of town.
What a show, boys. Holy fuck. A lot of that was probably my fault. The fact that, I take a lot of the blame for it. I apologize.
Might be the longest show to date. 2 hours and 40 minutes, roughly.
We're pushing our Selection Sunday show length time.
Oh my gosh, dude! But
I mean, James Franklin news plus the Auburn rant.
I think Selection Sunday we went 3.5 hours.
I wasn't on for that one. I don't think.
Can't remember if you were or not.
I don't think I was. I don't believe I was, but all right, we probably need to get off here. It's after midnight. I'm sure we all have to be up at a decent time.
Yeah. See you, boys.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Oh.
Juke just left us hanging. Dang.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate everybody who is tuned in to be patient with us. Me and Travis having our Auburn rants and dealing with that and getting that off our chest and dealing with everything. And just I appreciate y'all tuning in and us having our Week 7 recap and our Week 8 preview. And I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all, will tell some of our bets we gave and our predictions, and hopefully we can make y'all some money as well. Y'all have a good weekend. Appreciate y'all tuning in.